The Carrier Dome is home to the Orange in Syracuse, New York. The entire campus is buzzing as Syracuse looks for a signature win against Florida State, and the school's doing anything that they can to get fans into the Carrier Dome early, including creating a game day atmosphere right here in the middle of campus. Now, Cuse quarterback Eric Dungy has a message for everyone doubting his team, telling me Syracuse isn't just a basketball school anymore. We have a huge chip on our shoulder because no one thinks we can win this game. Florida State doesn't even respect us. It's the 2- and 3-star recruits of Syracuse going up against the 5 stars from Tallahassee. And our goal is to annihilate our opponent. Tunji told me it doesn't matter that Florida State is just 1-1. They're one of the blue bloods of college football, and he's planning on taking them down. Week 3, just moments away.
Beckham style. Watch him climb the ladder, grab it with one, and bring it in. What a grab up top by T.J. Vasher. D.K. Metcalf with the KO blow early. Take that, Red Raider Nation. Get it off in time, into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Here's a guy earning praise. Hill, touchdown, Bulldog. Welcome, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Xfinity. You're watching the ACC on ESPN under the bubble here in Syracuse, New York. It's Florida State taking on Syracuse. The 12th meeting all time between these two teams. Florida State trying to make it 11 consecutive wins against Syracuse. Willie Taggart in his first year on the sidelines called Florida State his dream job, but after 2 close calls, a loss and a near loss, the honeymoon appears to be coming to an abrupt end. Dino Babers on the sidelines in his 3rd season at Syracuse says he thinks Florida State might be ready to explode. His team wary as we kick off. The Seminoles will take it 1st down and 10. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak. Dusty, we should have saved this bubble in the good weather for November.
A little balmy in here today.
Hey, when you look at Florida State, a year ago at this time, they were top 5, playing Alabama, lose their starting quarterback, now an afterthought. Today, an important step on the road back.
It is, and they need to start fast. They've started really slow in this Willie Taggart Gulf Coast offense, and Deondre Francois finally coming into his own, throwing the football. If they can give him some time, could be a breakout performance for Mr. Francois.
1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Seminoles with a trips right formation. And hand it off to Cam Akers, the sophomore tailback out of Clinton, Mississippi, trying to get on track this season. There's a look at the actuals and factuals on Deondre Francois. Was injured in the first game of the season last year against Alabama. In 2 games so far, completing 65% of his passes. Has 3 touchdown tosses.
What a big-time arm, can make all the throws. Can they protect him? The real question.
2nd down and 8. Francois with time, and it looked like it was batted from behind. Good pressure on the backside by Chris Slayton. That offensive line for Florida State has struggled in 2 games.
They really have. Chris Slayton, a powerful defensive tackle, gets up the field, using his hands, and a big hit on Deondre Francois. It's been a problem all season long, protecting him, giving him time, allowing him to step up into the pocket. 2nd down, takes a big hit, setting up 3rd and long.
Francois has some tall, lanky receivers at his disposal. Give him time. Into traffic and incomplete near midfield. Andre Cisco there to break it up. And it's a quick 3 and out for the Seminoles offensively, intended for Gavin.
No pressure on the 3rd down. Drop 8 and just bring 3. perfect start to the game for Syracuse and their defense, getting after Florida State's offensive line. Willie Taggart over there talking to his quarterback, trying to figure some things out.
Willie Taggart, a offensive-minded coach, very much known for his offensive creativity. 4th down and 8. Nice punt all the way back to the 17. This is Antoine Cordy dancing around at the 25 and finally brought down to the 31-yard line. A good punt by Logan Tyler of 56 yards, and out comes Eric Dungy, 3-year starter for Syracuse, and he is very much the heartbeat of this team.
He is. You know, they said as this offense goes, Eric Dungy goes. He's a fiery competitor. They said there's a lion that's inside of him on game days. A true dual threat, too. Had a 200-yard rushing game in week 1, threw for 5 touchdown passes last week. In his 3rd year in this Dino Babers system, Dino said he's never had a quarterback in this system for this long.
It's going to be Mo Neal getting the start at tailback, and a nice game by Neal. Brought down by Dontavius Jackson, a gain of 6 yards on the play. That offensive line of Syracuse, one of the team's strengths. Doing a nice job on 1st down, a short 2nd and 4. Dungy flushed out, and wisely using good discretion, setting up a 3rd down and 4 as he throws it away. Brooks with the pressure up front for the Seminoles, Dusty.
Orange is the new fast. That's a slogan around here in Syracuse. Under Dino Babers, they go fast, they get up to the line of scrimmage, and they put a lot of pressure on the defense to get aligned and be ready, or else they catch them off balance.
Little pressure coming on Dungy. The offensive line picked it up, and the pass dropped at midfield, intended for Ravian Pierce. And it's a 3-and-out for Syracuse, but boy, Pierce actually had a good shot at that, and Dungy holding his right arm, seemingly dragging it there coming off the field.
Not sure what happened. He had good protection from his offensive line, just misses the throw on the dig.
Him being healthy has been a big issue here at Syracuse the last 2 years.
Has yet to complete a season without being injured.
Into punt, it's Sterling Hoffrichter. DJ Matthews with a fair catch just inside the 30-yard line. A 35-yard punt, but on the Syracuse sidelines, perhaps a little bit of concern for quarterback Eric Dungy. Keep an eye on that right hand. Held his elbow. Molly will have something on the other side of this. Stick around. Potential moments of angst here for Syracuse and their followers as quarterback Eric Dungy throws the ball here, and watch him grab that elbow forearm area immediately afterwards. And he was still favoring it as he headed to the bench. And a few moments ago, head coach Dino Babers going over to consult with his quarterback. So Molly is down there. We'll hopefully get a report from her shortly. 1st down and 10 for Florida State. On the counter, it's Akers busting through for the 1st down out near the 45. Guthrie finally making the tackle. That's the kind of run they've been missing so far for the Seminoles. 16 on the game.
Nice counter over the left side. Vision by Cam Akers. Stops on a dime. Runs to daylight. Nice start for the talented sophomore.
Francois completes his pass here to Akers, who is flanked out to the top side of your screen. Pick up a 4 on the play. Deondre Francois missed ball but 1 game last year. He was injured in the opener against Alabama. Seminoles making a change on that offensive line, and it hit Matthews right in the hands, and he dropped it. And Francois getting up slow.
Missed a golden opportunity there. DJ Matthews, one of the fastest receivers on this Florida State roster. He's wide open in the middle of the field. They faked the screen to McNitty. Wide open on the slant. Drops the pass, and that insult to injury. Big hit by Alton Robinson on the quarterback, Deondre Francois.
Got rid of it quickly, and nobody home. Incomplete. He went right back to DJ Matthews, but he was covered closely by Antoine Cordy on the play, and Francois walking off the field gingerly. And it's 4th down for Florida State.
Pressure's coming from all over. They're going to bring a linebacker out, and Robinson comes clean off the edge. And you have to start thinking Deondre Francois, he's under constant pressure. That clock's in his head, it's ticking, and he let that football go before he should have. That's the constant pressure we've seen 2 drives in from the Syracuse defensive line.
Logan Tyler standing on his own 35-yard line. You're looking into the helmet of Antoine Cordy. A dangerous punt returner, a low line drive kick. Takes a seminal bounce. Let's see where they down this. It's going to come back out. A 50-yard punt. Let's go down to Molly for more on quarterback Eric Dungey.
Well, Mark, the team held its collective breath on the sideline when Eric Dungey tweaked that right arm. Dino Babers came over to him and said, calm down, you got this. And he said, you did that once, referencing his throwing motion. I don't think you want to do that again. He also talked to him about what to do when his plays break down. So mostly just trying to calm down his quarterback and work a little bit on that throwing motion, Mark.
Yeah, it's interesting to note, Molly, that last year in this game against Florida State, Eric Dungey revealed to his coach and everyone else that he actually played the game with a broken foot. Suffered on the 5th play of the game, so he's no stranger to adversity. He completes that pass nicely to Sean Riley for the 1st down. So what do you make of that delivery?
A quick release, Sean Riley wide open, uncovered in the slot. Ball comes out quick. Sean Riley great in space.
Little receiver screen. This time Riley falls down after a gain of about 1.
We're going to see a lot of that throughout the day on both sides of this offense. A lot of bubbles, screens on the outside. It's a perimeter game today where guys are going to have to do a good job tackling in open space.
2nd and 9, handoff to Mo Neal. Folks, tonight on ABC, we'll have a top 15 matchup between number 4 Ohio State and number 15 TCU at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, and live on the ESPN app so you can watch anywhere. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Dungey, his intended receiver, Riley, fell on the play, but it looks like he's going to have a free one. Janarius Robinson jumping offside for the Seminoles.
Offside, defense, number 11, 5-yard penalty resulting in a 1st down.
Janarius Robinson clearly in front of the football. Free play. Unfortunately, Sean Riley falls down in the route. Didn't get a chance to take advantage of the free play. Nonetheless, it moves the chains.
Hands it off again to Mo Neal. Neal picked up about 2 on the play.
It's an area of this football team that they've really worked on, the ability to run the football, be physical up front. Dino Babers told us the biggest point of emphasis in camp, get more physical where we can play with the Florida States and with the Clemsons week in, week out.
And that's a guy that the offensive line is going to have to be physical with. Brian Burns is a threat up front for the Seminoles.
He's an NFL pass rusher. Really nice job as the tackle tries to cut him. Coda Martin tries to take his feet out. Brian Burns so athletic, jumps around it, gets the hand up, and deflects the pass.
Already with 1.5 sacks this year. Syracuse ran 88 and 81 plays in their first 2 games. One of the few times you'll see them take their time like this. 3 on the play clock. Dungey setting up the screen, wide open underneath. That's Devin Butler, and Butler picks up a Syracuse 1st down at the Florida State 41.
Florida State's going to bring pressure, man-to-man coverage. They're going to take Devin Butler on an underneath route across the field. And Levante Taylor can't stay and run with them in man-to-man coverage. Nice job by Eric Dungey surveying the field, finding his open target for an easy 1st down.
Hands it off this time. They run it between the tackles. Mo Neal once again. Interesting when you talk about Syracuse and their rushing attack. You go back through the books, and Dusty, we were kind of surprised that they haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2012.
We lean on 2 different guys here today. Dontae Strickland and Mo Neal both share the load running the football.
And Dungey right there is actually the team's leading rusher a year ago. Dontavius Jackson making the tackle on Dungey. Loss of 1. Little receiver screen. Jamal Custis, one of their dangerous wideouts, but well played, and a flag. A gain of 6 on the play. And they're probably going to tack some more yards on after the catch.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Against Stanford Samuels.
The confusion the speed of this offense creates. Florida State's not lined up. Eric Dungy recognizes it. He raises up. He throws it to Jamal Custis. And he gets outside and he gets enough for the first down. Big mistake by Florida State. Stanford Samuels comes in definitely late after the play to tack on an extra 15. Got to be smarter, especially on the road.
Up at the 17. Thank you. First and 10. Wide open underneath, the pass complete. That's Butler, and Butler fighting for extra yards. Picks up a first down. Interminable effort by Devin Butler. He gains 11.
When Eric Dungy recognizes an uncovered man, and you're playing off of him, he's going to give him the rock and let him go to work.
Neal in the backfield. They bring in Elmore. There's an extra blocker. Neal chopped down after a gain of about 3 on the play. Sets up a second down and goal for Cuse.
Yeah, I'd say Elmore is an extra blocker. He's 282 pounds. Offensive coordinator Mike Lynch said he's like having an extra offensive guard out there. I think that speaks to the way they want to be physical and run the football.
They'll just follow number 36. Here's Neal again. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and 3. They've tried to pound away on the last 2 plays, Dusty.
Power O back-to-back. Florida State holding up well on the inside. Big DeMarcus Christmas, number 90 in there, clogging up lanes, making life difficult to run the football.
13th play of the drive coming up for Syracuse. Dino Babers' team looking to start fast. Average over 58 points a game in their first 2 games. Florida State is a different animal here today. 3rd and goal. Play clock at 3. Neal, nowhere to go. Chopped down. An intransigent Florida State front, led by Dontavius Jackson to make the tackle. So now 4th down coming up.
Dontavius Jackson, he has great instincts as a linebacker. Downhill right now. Lowers his head and gets in the backfield, makes a big-time tackle for loss. Florida State's defense giving up some easy throws, yards after the catch. But as they get in the red zone, they bow their back and come up big as Syracuse tries to pound the football into the end zone.
Andre Szmyt in for a 22-yard field goal. And Szmyt makes it 3-0 for Syracuse. The Seminole defense was looking to get off to a faster start this week. They only give up a field goal. 3-0 when we come back to Syracuse, New York.
ESPN College Football is presented by Xfinity. Now with ESPN3 available on Xfinity X1. And in part by Mazda. Feel alive.
Edwards, Franklin, Strong, Shaw. An example of some talented African-American coaches in FBS. Dino Babers and Willie Taggart going head-to-head here. 10% of college football coaches at this level. You had Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith, my head coach at Chicago. Fantastic football coach. Had the opportunity to be a part of a Super Bowl team that saw both Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith.
We'll get more on that story on the other side. Bruton on the return. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Mark Jones, this is Adnan Burke with your studio update. Kent State and Penn State all in on the Nittany Lions. Trace McSorley to DeAndre Tompkins, 40-yard touchdown. 31st straight game, the passing touchdown for McSorley. Only Baker Mayfield has a better streak over the last 5 years, and also Middle Tennessee and Georgia. Jake Fromm, trust me, frozen in motion, then they get unfrozen because Jake Fromm goes to Miko Hardman. Tried to pull him off there, the snap count is a delay. 7-0 Georgia. Back to you, Jones.
Okay, Adnan, and mentioned the fact that 10% of the college coaches are African-American in college football, and Willie Taggart said he just needed to learn how to handle the interview process like other minority candidates when they first get an opportunity.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
He said there's opportunity that exists now for African-American coaches, and Babers told us a great story about doing good enough that somebody else has an opportunity to live out their dreams like he is right now, and talking about some of the early coaches that influenced him, Wayne Nunnally with others among them. And Akers running over the right side of that offensive line, brought down after a gain of 2 on the play by A.J. Westbrook.
Ooh, that was Andre Cisco, the true freshman, coming in with bad intentions. They're going to run a counter back to the boundary, pull guard, pull tackle. Deondre Cisco, already 3 interceptions on the young season, known for more as a cover man, brought the hat on first down.
2nd and 13. Francois, ball batted down harmlessly by Alton Robinson. Good pressure up front.
Alton Robinson, he's been licking his chops watching the tape. This offensive line for Florida State's giving up a lot of pressure, and Alton Robinson's going to come clean. He gets to the arm of Deondre Francois. Fortunately, he's able to get the ball out close to a sack fumble. Now there's noise. It's 3rd and long, and this defensive line, they got their ears pinned back coming for the quarterback.
Akers with a little shake. Put it on the ground. It came loose. Akers lost the handle on it.
Looked like he might have got it back.
Yeah, Eberle was there to pounce on the loose ball for Florida State. And it's going to be 4th down for the Seminoles. They dodge one there. And Willie Taggart sending in the punt unit. Alec Eberle with the fumble recovery for Florida State. One more look.
Heads up play by Cam Akers. Knowing he lost the football, he's got to get it back. Reaches that arm out, brings it back into his body. Ooh, Syracuse defensive line making life tough on this Florida State offense.
Logan Tyler punting it to Cordy. Oh boy, they came after it. And it takes a very fortuitous roll for the Seminoles all the way down to the 23. It's a little sticky here in Syracuse in the dome. Hot under the collar for Willie Taggart and the Seminoles. Molly will have more on the tee in a minute. Eric Dungy on the loose as we come back to Syracuse, scrambling up the middle for the first down.
Mark, Cuse's tempo is really getting to the Noles defense. After coming off the field, defensive tackle DeMarcus Christmas couldn't speak. He was asking for an inhaler and using it the entire time on the sideline.
Boy, gassed already, Molly, on the receiver screen. Custis, their leading receiver, coming into the ball game, making the catch, but pushed out of bounds for a short gain on the play. Custis, a tall target at 6'5".
RPO, fake the zone inside, just going to throw the bubble outside. It's imperative for Florida State that they do a nice job out in space. They're aggressive on those screens. Kyle Myers, the cornerback, does a nice job defeating the block and forcing a short gain for Jamal Custis.
They've already run 17 plays. That pass incomplete, and now a late flag intended for Johnson. Cyrus Fagan there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Ball complete pace. At the spot of the foul. First down.
Fagan got there just a bit early. And to Molly's point, when you're playing defensive line like DeMarcus Christmas, you're 300 pounds, and that tempo's going so fast you can't even get lined up. You never catch your breath. You never get your wind. And that's exactly what Dino Babers wants to create. Confusion, guys getting tired and taking advantage.
1st and 10, Dungy hands it off again to Strickland this time. Jackson making the tackle. I know you're watching at home and thinking, why are they so tired? Why are they so hot? Folks, it's a dome stadium, yes. not any air conditioning.
Say it's an air conditioned one. No. If you want to take a look at a sweaty mess, they can throw the camera on me. But no doubt, it is balmy to say the least here in the Dome.
I think we're both going to be a hot mess before this is over, Dusty. Dungy, nothing messy about that pass, complete to Taj Harris. And another first down for Syracuse. And a crisp-looking show and throw by Dungy, 16 yards. Flag down at the 48, though. So after Dungy came off in the first series holding his forearm elbow, he's thrown the ball pretty well,
He's looked
right?
good, yes. His decision-making, how quickly he's getting him into place.
Ineligible downfield. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty.
This is one thing about the RPO, okay? Run pass option. It's a called run play, so the offensive line doesn't know. So if the quarterback has to sit there and wait for it, has to sit there and wait for the route to open up, the offensive lineman can get downfield. Freeze it there, guys. 68, the center, was the man downfield, about 5-6 yards past the line of scrimmage. They can only go up to 3 yards. It's a good call by the official, and one many defensive coordinators around the country are glad to see.
I know you defensive guys complain that it never gets called. It did that time. Little screen pass complete. Strickland on the move. Strickland down at the 28-yard line, and Syracuse gets back the 5-yard penalty and then some.
Traditional running back screen. They set it up so well. Eric Dungy waits to the last moment. Look at the big guys out in front. Big running lane for Strickland in the open field.
Joshua Kando down on the field for Florida State, grabbing the back of that left leg of his. 29-yard gain on the play. Seminoles defense getting worked right now, back after this.
Here in the Carrier Dome, and you think we'd avoid weather in an indoor stadium, but we're still dealing with the elements here. As you can see, it's 87 degrees outside, 88 indoors here at the Carrier Dome. The air is thick. It's still, a lot of players have dealt with cramping in the past. That's definitely something to keep an eye on here. I know you guys are sweating too, Mark.
Yeah, Molly, AC here stands for alternative cooling, like the fan we got. Oh, a big hit and a fumble. What a jolt by Kyle Myers. And it's going to be Seminole football.
It's an outstanding play by Kyle Myers. He reads it. He comes up and he makes a big, vicious hit to jar the ball loose. The question I have as I watch it live, did Custis have possession? Oh, sorry, I apologize. Did Johnson have possession of the football before it came loose?
Looked like he took a couple of steps once he caught it.
Big time play by Kyle Myers out there on the edge. A lot of these perimeter passes, you've got to be able to come up, tackle well.
On the field is a completed pass, fumbled and recovered by Florida State.
And Myers wearing the incentivized turnover device, the latest one, the turnover backpack. Looks like the Louis.
Got to secure the bag.
Yeah.
Ooh. Did he have possession? We'll tell you when we come back.
Well, it was just determined a moment ago that this was no catch. It'll be Syracuse football. Second down. One more look.
I don't know if Nykeem Johnson actually made a football move with the ball possessed. When he first caught it, he kind of bobbled it. Still an outstanding play by Kyle Myers.
Got to give the bag back, though. Turnover doesn't stand. Dontae Strickland in the backfield on second down and 10. Official still trying to straighten something out, apparently.
Please reset the game clock to 3:40. 3:40. Thank you.
Willie Taggart said that he wanted his defense to get off to a better start than the one they had last week against Samford. Fell behind 13-0 early in that game. Trailing by a field goal, and here's some pressure. Once again, Brian Burns, the guy we talked about at the top of the show, applying the pressure.
What's his get off? He's working on Coda Martin. He's just going to club over the top, knock the hands down, and get a nice rip and dip the edge. Brian Burns, an outstanding pass rusher. His get off puts offensive tackles in such a tough spot. And at talking to this offensive staff for Syracuse, they knew all about 99, and they were worried about how they were going to deal with it.
3rd and 21. Dungy. Dungy on the loose, and wisely, using good discretion, gets down, and he's shaken up. Favoring that right side, that right arm again.
This is the big thing with Eric Dungy. Right? You love the toughness. You love him scrambling out of the pocket.
And he's going to come out.
But at what detriment?
4th down.
Said they had him wanting him to watch some tape of Russell Wilson. See, he's got to get down. He's got to slide and give up his body. When he goes forward like that, the defender can still come in and deliver a blow. If he slides feet first, the defender has to stay off of it.
Szmyt from 46, and he pushed it off to the left after connecting from 22. Now 1 for 2 as we go back to our guy that never misses in the studio, Adnan Verk. Adnan, what's good?
Jonesy, you're too kind, but you're also right. CarMax, drive what's possible studio update. Kent State taking on Penn State. That's right, 7-all right now because Woody Barrett to Mike Kerrigan. 47-yard touchdown. Nice catch there as they're trying to pull off the upset in Happy Valley. Check out the replay once again. Good move here by Kerrigan. Can't pull off that jersey. 7-all right now. Jonesy, back to you.
Okay, Adnan. As Dino Babers has a little conversation with his quarterback, Eric Dungy, perhaps checking on his fitness. 1st down and 10 for Deondre Francois. Gets rid of it quickly, incomplete. Intended for Keith Gavin on the sidelines. And he ends up getting off his backside again.
Does. It's the big defensive tackle that we expected Chris Slayton to make his presence felt. Chris Slayton working on 72. Mike Arnold gets up underneath his arm, rips through. Another big hit. Deondre Francois. His hits are starting to stack up, Jonesy.
Willie Taggart said that his offensive line just needed to get back to basics. And that the staff was going to coach them up this week to keep their quarterback upright. Give him a little bit of time. They set up the screen. Patrick gained about a yard on the play. Good tackle by Antoine Cordy.
I love the play call here, right? You got a defensive line that's got their ears pinned back. They're getting up the field. So what do? Running back screen. It was set up perfectly. But Antoine Cordy, the undisputed leader of this defense, with a big open field tackle for a minimal gain.
Trey McKitty has been quiet so far for Florida State. Number 6. He's the inside receiver to the bottom of your screen. He's been a favorite target of Francois. Looks the other way and fires. Incomplete, intended for Keith Gavin. And it's 4th down coming up. That's the 3rd 3-and-out for Florida State.
Well, these hits have already taken their toll. This is a blitz coming from Syracuse. It's actually pretty well picked up. But he's bracing for impact. He's already bracing. He turns his head, turns his shoulder. He's not stepping into the throw because he knows pressure's coming, and he's already tired of taking that punishment.
Tyler's punt comes down to the 33, returnable. Antoine Cordy with a nice return. Thought he missed an opportunity there. 38-yard punt, 10 yards on the return. 1st and 10 for the Orange. Well, the ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Folks, get more ESPN and download it now. I was all over that thing last night. Just a few bucks. You get a lot of fantastic extra programming. College football, basketball, Olympic sports. So we got a flag down on the play.
running into the kicker. On the defense, number 10. That penalty is declined. First down.
Mark, medical's training staff for Syracuse was bandaging some bleeding on Eric Dungey's left arm. An O-lineman even went up to him and told him, hey man, be a little bit more careful. But I talked to him yesterday. He said, I can't play to not get hurt. That's not who I am. So instead he bulked up over the offseason. He's gained over 30 pounds since he first joined the team at Syracuse to kind of create armor so that he can take bigger hits. And if you look at him in a t-shirt, it looks like he's wearing inflated muscles. Obviously he needs to be a little more careful out there though, guys.
You know, Molly, Dusty, it's always fun when you can wear those medium shirts. You know what I mean? Tight fitting. Shows how shredded you are. And that time, Riley got shredded in the backfield by the Seminoles defense.
A.J. Litton.
That Burns there as well.
Nice play.
Folks, we talked about being shredded, and we talked about the heat in here becoming a factor. And we've kind of dried off a little bit.
A little bit.
It doesn't show, Dusty, but it's a little sticky
I think
under
it
here.
shows. I think it shows plenty. I got sweat stains all over myself. It is.
We got a second one coming in the second half, folks. My partner's going to be okay. Dungey got a man deep. Call dropped in and out of the arms of Custis. He got in behind Asante Samuel Jr., and that had 6 written all over it.
Well, Jamal Custis wins at the line of scrimmage. One-on-one coverage with a true freshman, Asante Samuel. This is something they really worked on. Winning at the line of scrimmage. He starts outside, he comes inside, and he's got his man beat. Dungey delivers a dime. Ooh, what a drop that Jamal Custis wishes he could have back.
No doubt.
And he's had a great start to the season in his senior year, making the most of his final opportunity.
Words of the coaching staff, he is amongst the guys that have come the farthest this year, and Dungey is going to step back and call a timeout after a missed opportunity.
Syracuse, their first 30-second timeout.
Dino Babers will burn his first timeout. Moment ago, a great opportunity for Custis, Dusty.
Wins at the line of scrimmage on press coverage. Whew. And then drops. That's a win and a loss all in the same play for Custis.
Running here, Dontae Strickland, and Strickland takes it out to the 34-yard line. 4th down coming up on a 4-yard gain, and the punt unit coming right back in for Syracuse. You get the feeling, Dusty, Syracuse has really kind of outplayed Florida State, I think, in this game, but with only 3 points to show for it on the board.
Yeah, well,
they moved the ball well. Right?
Earlier, that sack cost them big time, pushed them back, made that a much longer field goal than what they wanted. Give Florida State credit. They've done a nice job, even though they've given up some yardage. When they get into the red area, they're able to come up with key stops, and Syracuse defense so far, they've been lights out.
Richter with a high spiral. Great punt. Driving Matthews all the way back to the 7. Broke a tackle. DJ Matthews. Oh, the DJ ready to spin. And finally run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Right near that sideline. Pushed out of bounds by Whitner. But a great punt return and a flag down on the play as well.
It was a questionable decision even to bring it out inside the 10-yard line. And DJ Matthews said, we got to make something happen. Huge return for the Seminoles.
50-yard punt, but he got back 48 on the return. Let's see if it stands, though.
Flags on both sides of the field, Jonesy.
Seminoles looking for a big play. Coming off a disappointing performance, albeit a win last week against Samford, a game in which they trailed until the last 6 minutes of the game, when Deondre Francois led them down the field and scored the go-ahead touchdown in the subsequent 2-point conversion. Time has expired on the clock in the first quarter. Here's one more look at the end part of that nice punt return by Matthews. Oh, Pierce was standing out of bounds but close to that sideline.
He's in the white. That's going to be a penalty. He's got to be back behind the white line. The get-back coach is going to get in trouble. Coach Baber's not going to be happy. There's typically a coach designated to make sure everybody's back, players, coaches, and everyone alike.
Okay, when was the last time you saw that called? Because I don't remember seeing that called in a while.
Well, if there are 3 fouls on the play.
Let's count them.
Holding against the return team, number 23. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick, 10 yards. There are 2 dead ball fouls, 1 on each team. Personal foul on number 22, White. Personal foul on number 6, Orange, Syracuse. Those 2 penalties will offset. First down, Florida State.
Man, 22, I'm thinking he's meaning 29, DJ Matthews on the personal foul.
Yeah.
They got...
Well, you do the math on it. It still adds up to 3-0 for Syracuse. Matthews putting the Seminoles in a good spot. Welcome back, everyone. Take a look at number 22 right here, Dusty.
Referee gets a good look at this. Clearly a personal foul. No need for that right in front of the referee. He's going to draw the flag every single time. Look at this starting field position for Florida State and what might have been, but what really is.
One more play untimed down here to end the first quarter. As a result of the penalty, Patrick pounding ahead out to the 7-yard line. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter now. Armstrong making the tackle for Syracuse.
Well, we've got 2 offensive-minded head coaches that like to play with tempo, that like to play fast. What did we say? Space and pace game on both sides.
Yeah.
It's been all about the defense so far, partner.
Yeah. Syracuse has had success moving the ball today, though. Hey, tomorrow on NFL Sunday Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, story of James Conner's incredible journey from battling cancer at Pitt to his breakdown performance last week with the Steelers. Plus, Randy Moss ranks this week's best catches from college football in You Got Mossed.
We got the best catch of the season in week number 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vasher was incredible.
DJ Vasher off the chart.
Time for our Athletic trivia question, folks. How many different schools has Dino Babers served as a graduate assistant, or head coach? I was really impressed, man, by your knowledge on this one yesterday at the production meeting. You picked that answer right out of the sky.
Pretty much hit it right on the head.
You did.
Coach Babers.
Former
give you guys some time at home to think about it. Let's just say the many stopping areas for Coach Dino Babers.
Yeah, he's rented and leased a lot.
Yes, he has. Well-traveled man. But, man, you know, when we got a chance to sit with Coach Babers, the personality he displayed when we sat with him, I mean, just a magnetic personality. Yes. Big personality, very charismatic, and you can tell why a lot of these people here at Syracuse think he is the answer. And not only they feel like they've got this program headed in the right direction, everybody having all kinds of fun.
Amir Rasul in the backfield. Francois on 2nd and 7. Keeps it himself. And it's interesting, Dusty, when you talk about systems. Willie Taggart has a certain system, that Gulf Coast offense. Francois was more of a pro-style quarterback in Jimbo Fisher's system, and he's adjusting, right?
He is adjusting, and think about this. Wasn't healthy yet in springtime, and it was a quarterback race between Francois and Blackman all through training camp. He hasn't started getting the bulk of the reps until the first week of the season, so you would think as the season progresses, the more practice and game reps he gets, the better he's going to get acclimated to this offense. Big 3rd down for the Noles offense.
They need 7. Francois gets rid of it quickly, complete for the first down. Trey McKitty making his first reception of the ball game, but there's a flag down on the play back at the 8-yard line on the far side of the field. So let's hold on a minute.
Ineligible downfield on the offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty, third down.
The guy that ended up making the reception, Dusty.
McKinney was covered up. The outside by a receiver, so he was an ineligible downfield. And this has become one of Francois' favorite targets, the big tight end, 6'5", 245, very versatile, work in the middle of the field. He had the touchdown catch, the go-ahead touchdown catch, so expect to see him continue to get involved. But alignment issues when you are backed up on a third down, mistakes you can't have and expect to win when you go on the road.
Jacques Patrick in the backfield. Francois out of his own end zone. Patrick gives him a little bit of space out to the 12-yard line. Tackled by Armstrong and Kendall Coleman. And fourth down coming up for Florida State in a game which, as you alluded to, Dusty, two coaches with an offensive bent to them respectively, but not a lot of points to show for it.
And Florida State just shot themselves in the foot there. They get the big punt return. It gets negated by a holding and offsetting personal fouls, and then finally you convert on a third down, yet you lined up improperly.
Syracuse is going to get good field position after this punt. Fair catch called at the 45-yard line by Antoine Cordy. 42-yard punt as we punt back to the studio with Adnan.
Jonesy, the master of the segue, updating you right now on Oklahoma and Iowa State. Maybe the Cyclones can pull off an upset like last year. Well, Kyler Murray to Marquise Brown, the second longest pass of his career. Sooners looking good. This game's over on ABC. Only 10-3 right now, though, early in the second quarter. And how about Troy and Nebraska breaking a tackle once and then reversing direction and just slithering his way through? How about Sedarius Rooker? That's one of the more entertaining punt returns you'll see. 58 yards, he'll go all the way. 10-0 right now, leading the Cornhuskers. Jonesy, back to you and Dusty.
One of those guarantee games where nothing's guaranteed, Dusty. Mo Neal picks up 3 yards for Syracuse. Syracuse has scored 62 points in their last game. They've averaged almost 60 per game in the first two. This offense has been humming behind quarterback Eric Dungey. Under duress here. As he fires, it's going to be caught at the 40-yard line. Wow, Jamal Custis atoning for that earlier drop. But there's a flag down on the far side of the field at the 48-yard line.
Ineligible downfield on the offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So that's the third time today, Dusty, we've seen that particular penalty called. Ineligible receiver downfield.
Well, it's a point of emphasis. You get 3 yards. You get a little latitude in college football. It's only one in the National Football League. We'll take a look here at 78, who's going to be working as the offensive tackle. He's going to come on a down block. See, he's run blocking. He gets all the way to linebacker depth past the 3 yards. It's a great play by Dungey just to get outside the pocket. Custis on a double catch makes the play, but a good call by the official.
Dungey out of the pocket into traffic and incomplete. Intended for Sean Riley. Dontavius Jackson may have tipped that ball. And third down and 12 coming up for Eric Dungey, the 3-year starter. Revealing for the first time earlier this week that he played last year's game against Syracuse with a broken foot. Suffered the break on the 5th play of the game, and then a couple of plays later actually had to run the ball, as he does here. Put his hat down and is tackled at the 45 and gets just enough apparently for the first down.
No matter how hard they try, they can't coach that aspect.
That's not a slide.
Out of Eric Dungey. That's just who he is, man. I mean, he's a linebacker mentality. He's going to lower his shoulder. He's going to do what he has to do to try to pick up first down yardage. Will he be able to finish the season? Orange fans hope so.
Great run up the middle between the tackles for Mo Neal. Yeah, they showed Dungey video of Russell Wilson of the Seahawks, who's one of the best at scrambling and getting down. I don't think I've ever seen Russell Wilson put his hat down like that, like Dungey did.
No, but he's not 6'4", 232 with body armor like Eric Dungey either.
And Burns holding that left knee area, as you can plainly see. He is the key on that defensive front.
It's so easy to watch games now on your favorite ESPN networks using Xfinity X1. Show me college football.
Florida State's defensive end Brian Burns being stretched on the sidelines right now. He couldn't even walk off of the field without help from medical training staff grabbing his left hamstring. The first thing they did when they got him to the sideline, guys, they gave him water.
Cramping. Yeah. You saw the way he was trying to straighten those toes out, right? Telltale sign of that.
And even though they're down in Tallahassee and they're used to playing in the heat, this is a different kind of feel inside this dome.
Dungy to the short side of the field, complete. Great route by Jamal Custis with his second catch of the ball game. And a flag down on the play as well.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 players in the backfield. Remains first down.
Dusty, you know all about dehydration. You're talking about the study that was done on you at Oklahoma. When you're playing, you lose a lot of water.
You do.
What do you do? What's it feel like? What's Burns going through right now?
Well, I mean, first things first, you should have really tried to hydrate yourself prior to this. You know, right now, I mean, he's over there warming his legs up. But, man, when you start cramping, it's just kind of one after another, unfortunately.
Almost intercepted trying to set up the screen. Kyle Myers was there.
A dangerous pass by Eric Dungy. He's trying to throw the screen out in the flats. Whew, Kyle Myers.
Burns back in the ball game. Molly, what's up?
I can't believe I'm doing a weather report from inside of a dome, but I have a temperature device down here. It is 90 degrees here inside of the dome. It's in the 80s outside, so it's warmer and the air is much thicker in here.
And that pass incomplete, Molly, and a flag thrown. Intended for Custis. Kyle Myers there might have arrived a little bit early.
Kyle Myers fights through the block. Nykeem Johnson might have gotten there early, but he's been very aggressive.
Holding on the defense, number 14. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
All this talk about the weather and heat, Dusty. Like the Seminoles, I'm from South Florida, not North Florida. 90 degrees, you know what they call that in my neighborhood? Winter.
Come on, man.
Fall.
This is a different kind of 90 degrees, man. Look at these people. Everybody's fanning off.
My pores haven't been closed in months.
You got a little sweat going yourself.
Got a little lather.
Now Myers a little over-aggressive out there on the perimeter, trying to break up that screen pass.
Second down and 5, and the official's going to confer about something. This game has become very arrhythmic over the last several minutes.
Defensive holdings typically automatic first down.
Correction. The receiver was behind the line of scrimmage, therefore it's not an automatic first down. Third down.
There you go. There's the clarification.
Boy, they've had more penalty yardage than moving the ball Florida State has.
7 penalties in their first time on the road. Not what Willie Taggart had in mind.
A little late getting lined up. And now the Seminoles going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Florida State, they're first.
Seminoles a little disconcerted and discombobulated, but still only trailing by 3 when we come back to Syracuse.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing athletes for their charitable work. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
Orange, the prevailing color here in Syracuse at the Dome. But believe it or not, folks, that's right. That's pea green on the left, pink on the right. There was a time for a year those, Dusty and Molly, were the colors of the school. Imagine that.
Orange has never looked so good, Jonesy.
It's tough to match orange, man. You know, it's tough to match with orange.
Not as tough as it is pea green.
I could work with some green.
Is that right? Okay, okay.
Especially in pocket.
Good look. The orange is out and about here today in the Dome, man.
O'Neal
well
and a
represented.
Second and 5. Very disjointed last few minutes here. A lot of penalties. And Dungy going to tuck it under on a predetermined quarterback run. picks up 2 on the play, and good sign for Florida State. Brian Burns makes the tackle on the play. A gain of 3, and Burns, his leg's looking a little bit wobbly right now, Dusty.
So they're doing high knees on the sidelines before he came back in. And the thing is, when you get a cramp, even if it goes away, it still might twinge every now and again.
How many pounds would you lose during a game like this?
On a game like this, 10 to 15, probably on a given afternoon.
Wow.
You don't have the water coming out of the cleats when you get down in your stance, that type of thing.
3rd down and 2. And they're going to be left a little bit short. 4th down and short coming up for Syracuse. A good surge up front by number 5, Dontavius Jackson. Decision time for Dino Babers.
I think they're going to go for it. Dino Babers told us that they focused in fall camp on being physical, on being able to win matchups like this. 4th and 1 with a chance to go in and get points. You've already missed a field goal of similar distance. Big people in the game.
Yeah, McLemore, Chris Elmore amongst them. Dungey keeps it. Oh, let's see where they spot it. I don't think he got it. They're going to mark it short. The Seminoles are going to take over on downs here, apparently. Asante Samuel Jr. came up in run support and put a big hit on the quarterback, Eric Dungey.
It's outstanding defense by Florida State. There's nothing on the inside. Dungey tries to bounce it to the perimeter. They continue to string it out to the outside, and the true freshman, Asante Samuel, with an excellent open field tackle as he works off the block and keeps Dungey short. Outstanding defense by Florida State.
Asante Samuel Jr., that's a play that, wow, Dad would certainly be proud of. Playing with the Pats.
Dungey, the bigger guy at 6'4", 232. What do they say in football, Jonesy? Low man wins. Asante Samuel Jr. goes low, gets a big, big stop.
Big play by the Seminoles defensively. And now the question begs, will this offense, led by Deondre Francois, get some kind of momentum going? They haven't even come close to eclipsing the 100-yard mark. Just 44 total yards in the game on 5 drives. They've had 4 3-and-outs.
Surprised we haven't seen any perimeter passes to allow these receivers to get out in open space.
Gets rid of it quickly. The pass complete to the near side of the field. That's number 15, Terry, and a flag down again. Terry had a couple of touchdown catches last week against Samford in that comeback win.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Deondre Francois didn't like the body language of his offensive line on the sidelines previously. A couple seconds ago, he told them, I know you're tired. I know it's hot. I need you to focus. You need to stay in this game mentally. So we're seeing some leadership from Francois.
And that's something, Molly, great job there, that Coach Willie Taggart wanted to establish with number 12 as starting quarterback when he first got the job. Tell you more about that on the other side of this play. First down and 20. Hands it off to Cam Akers, and he moves out over the 23. Taggart said he was on the plane right after he first took the Florida State job and called up his quarterback, Deondre Francois. And he said, hey, listen, I need you to be more of a physical presence. I need you not to be living off campus. I want you back on campus around your teammates to help build that valuable chemistry. And the quarterback has complied, that time handing it off to his tailback, Cam Akers.
Said he's been doing it ever since. He's been no problem whatsoever, to the point that he's been doing the little things, holding his own meetings with the offensive line, with the wide receivers, taken to exactly what Willie Taggart had asked. Another big 3rd down for Florida State, yet to convert here today.
Got to get to the 35.
McKitty in the slot, tight end. Francois loves to go to in the middle of the field.
Can they give him enough time to throw? He got it, and he delivers a strike, but it's a little bit short. That's Keith Gavin at the other end of that frozen rope thrown by Francois.
One of the few times he's had the opportunity to step into a throw all afternoon, but Gavin's route comes up short on the comeback. He's got to push that route past the sticks in order to get the first down.
4th down and 2, and in comes Logan Tyler. Antoine Cordy back deep already. The 6th punt of the day for Tyler. Cordy is fun to watch. Pound for pound, perhaps the strongest player on that Syracuse team. 5'8". Makes the catch, sliding in at the 33 as we go back to Adnan in the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you. You used the word arrhythmic earlier. Well, how about the rhythm of Kyler Murray so far? Oklahoma and Iowa State. Kyler Murray to C.D. Lamb. That was on 2nd and goal. 17-10 right now. Murray's got a couple touchdowns so far. And Trevor Lawrence, he's trying to push Kelly Bryant for playing time, getting a shot here with Justin Ross. 2nd straight week, Lawrence has had a 50-yard touchdown. It's 14-0 in this game against Georgia Southern on ESPN-U. Jonesy?
Okay, Adnan, and Clemson with a game next week in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. Tigers looking strong, off to a good start. 1st down and 10 for Syracuse. 8 minutes to play in the first half. A yawning hole on the right side of that offensive line. Mo Neal runs right through it to pick up about 8.5 yards on the play. Sets up a 2nd and short.
Excellent vision by Mo Neal to see the cutback and pick up a nice gain.
Here he is again, this time stopped up right near or behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Christmas and Dontavius Jackson. Adonis Thomas also there for Florida State.
Interior of that Florida State defensive line. It's really done a nice job here this afternoon.
3rd and 2. And they're not going to get there. Mo Neal stopped up short. That time the defensive front for the Seminoles winning again. Corey Druden and Jaden Woodby. And Coach Baber is seemingly a little incensed on the sidelines as a projected offense comes to the side. Yeah, great visit with Coach Babers yesterday. Great energy.
Watch this. Watch the defensive line. They're not even set up, but they're going to be able to get penetration and get up the field and give Mo Neal nowhere to go running the football. It's an outstanding job by Florida State.
Sterling Hoffrichter to punt from his own 30-yard line. Matthews had a big punt return in the first quarter called back because of a penalty. And he calls for the fair catch at the 13-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for Florida State. Still trying to get on the board, and we'll have the answer to our Aflac trivia question when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Now time for the answer to today's Aflac trivia question. How many different schools has Dino Babers served as a GA, assistant, or head coach? My partner Dusty nailed this one. 14. 3 as head coach. His first head coaching job was at Eastern Illinois. Recalls it very vividly. His team picked to finish last in the conference, and they ended up winning. At the Bowling Green, now here at Syracuse in his 3rd season. Babers doing a nice job, looking to have a turnaround season. Going 4-8 last year. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. 3 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Akers takes the handoff into the boundary and brought down at the 14. Damali.
You guys, Eric Dungey's physicality is catching up with him. There's a rip in his jersey. He was bleeding earlier, and he recently just had something in his eye. It looked like a piece of rubber from the turf, and medical training staff were tending to him. They said that he'll be okay.
Okay, so Molly, what hasn't happened to him so far in this game? Tough beginning, much like last year for Dungey, who broke his foot on the 5th play of the game against Florida State. Able to bring his team within a game-winning field goal of winning that, though. Francois picked off at the 30. Frederick. And Syracuse with the turnover. That's their 6th interception of the season.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Chris Frederick, he's lined up in the slot. He's locked down on Tamorian Terry. Undercuts the route. Bad throw by Deondre Francois, as if he never saw the defender. An outstanding takeaway for Chris Frederick. 6th interception already on the young season for the Orange defense. Eclipsed 4 all of last year, Jonesy.
That's been a point of emphasis amongst the coaching staff. for Dino Babers this year. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator. Getting it done. Dungy put it on the ground, got it back. They made it back near the line of scrimmage. Let's see if the Syracuse Orange can convert on that turnover. Heard from Molly a moment ago, Dungy had something in his eye. Not just those Seminole defenders.
False start.
You know, we talked about the
False start. Offense, number 10, 5-yard penalty, second down.
timeout on the field. Dino Babers' team within striking range when we come back. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the best student section of the year. The Syracuse student section and Otto the Orange is already on the national watch list. That's right. Made the top 25. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Back to the action, incomplete. Dungy missing Riley, his intended receiver, and in a blink, 3rd and long, Dusty.
Already had a penalty. Riley had moved earlier on 2nd down, overthrow on the screen outside. 3rd and long situation for Syracuse. Florida State dials up any pressure.
Ravian Pierce, the inside receiver to the bottom of your screen. Tall, angular one. Pierce is 6. It trips right. Dungy going to take off, perhaps just to be safe and get within field goal range, and that might be a late hit. Yes, it is. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Cyrus Fagan. It's already been a long afternoon for Dungy.
And it's been a long afternoon.
Personal foul, defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's the 9th penalty for Florida State.
Aaron Roberts going to pull around. Watch the pancake. 59 is about to put on the linebacker. To Kalen Brooks. Wow. Last year, Roberts missed the entire season with an injury. He's back. He's playing great football.
5 minutes to go, and what do you know? Another penalty. We got a new quarterback in.
False start.
DeVito,
Offense,
Tommy DeVito.
number 59, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Tommy DeVito in at quarterback, number 13, the 6'2 freshman from Cedar Grove, New Jersey. 1st and 15, so trying to figure out what the story is with Eric Dungy, who's now on the sidelines. Took a hit on that penalty a moment ago.
To the head.
Strickland in the backfield, takes the handoff. Wrapped up, but he moved the pile a couple of yards, got about 3, and boy, concern now for Eric Dungy, which has been an all too prevailing theme here on this hit.
Watch at the end as Fagan comes in. It's helmet to helmet. He grabs his face mask. He looks up to the official. Well,
and we got another Florida State player down to the field on this last play. Dungy being attended to on the sidelines.
we're checking him for concussion on the sidelines over here right in front of us. Yeah.
See how those pupils dilate and how they react.
Yeah, directly in front of us. He's up to his feet.
Let's go back to the studio with Adnan.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. Coming up in the Alexis halftime report, the Sooners seeking revenge in Ames after the Iowa State victory a year ago, plus potential letdown in Lincoln for Nebraska as the Troy Trojans right now are doing good work there. Plus the Buckeyes upset alert tonight, maybe Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, and me. Jonesy, back to you.
Okay, Adnan, that's Kylan Brooks was shaken up a moment ago. The son of Derek Brooks, the Hall of Famer. Dungy back on the sidelines. Tommy DeVito still in for another play at quarterback for Syracuse.
Expect something very safe here from DeVito. Easy, quick throw. Or give the ball to the running back, Dontae Strickland.
2nd and 11. They fake the screen, go to Custis up top. They're going to rule it a catch at the 1-yard line. Jamal Custis.
I think he got the foot in. Outstanding throw over the shoulder. What a great catch. Foot is in.
Yes, that left foot.
Outstanding catch by the 6'5" wide receiver over the shoulder. Understanding where the sideline is. I thought they'd take it easy with the redshirt freshman, and they said, no, let's throw the slot fade over on the sidelines.
DeVito with a lot of touch.
Great throw and catch.
And Florida State going to call timeout.
Timeout. Florida State, their second.
They've now burned 2 of their timeouts here in the first half. DeVito showing a lot of poise and a deft touch on that last completion. Hey, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Part of the pastoral beauty here, bucolic scenery on the campus at Syracuse University.
I went for a jog this morning, Jonesy. I went through campus.
I missed you.
I was blown away. What a gorgeous campus here at Syracuse. Beautiful old buildings and big trees. Man, I was very, very impressed. I've heard a lot of great things about Syracuse. My first time here, when I got a chance to spend about 20, 30 minutes running around campus, man, I can understand what all the praise about this university is all about.
Be careful if someone says, come visit me in January.
Yeah, no, thanks. Hey, man, September's good. January's not.
First and goal. DeVito hands it off. Strickland, did he get in? No, they're going to mark it just a little bit short. And one of the officials gets knocked over.
Ooh, I don't know. I think he's in the end zone.
Well, Dontae Strickland got marked a little bit short. Sets up second and goal.
They took another look at this. I think Strickland was laying in. Ooh.
They're going to go again. They're up at the line of scrimmage. Strickland. And stopped again. Kyle Myers from his cornerback spot with great run support. Third and goal for Cuse.
Outstanding job on the inside, fitting your gaps, winning the line of scrimmage, and then Kyle Myers, the free hitter, the quarterback, making the play in the backfield on 3rd and short, 4th and short. This Florida State defense has come up huge so far in this first half.
Papers has his jumbo package in there still, Dusty. Out of throwing formation. Elmore in motion. They try it again. Strickland denied, defended, defeated. Dontavius Jackson was the first one there. And the defense stones Syracuse.
Dontavius Jackson, he's been a man-child in the short yardage. He gets the penetration, he gets in the backfield, the initial hit, and then it's a true freshman, Jaden Woodby, with a big stop. Wow. Big momentum for Florida State, bowing their backs and not letting the orange in the end zone.
Arlen Burnett's defensive squad, the defensive coordinator, well schooled and coached on that one. This, a 19-yard field goal attempt, is good by Andre Szmyt. But you got to consider that a major win for Florida State, Dusty. Coach Burnett and coaching his guys up. And when we talk about the battle on the trenches, in the trenches, that's a battle that Syracuse felt confident about perhaps winning in this game, right?
They wanted to find out where they were. We talked to them, and they told us physicality is something that has to be a part of this football team. They can spread you out, they can go tempo, but they want to be able to line up and run the football at people, and they knew that with Florida State, the players that they're going to bring in here to the Dome, it would be a great measuring stick. As far as the physicality goes on short yardage situations, it's been all Florida State because time and time again, so far in the first half, they've come up with crucial stops when they've needed them.
Willie Taggart's team now trying to put some points on the board with 1:40 to go here in the first half. Deondre Francois was intercepted on the last series for Florida State. Remember, Francois has only played 2 games this year after missing all but one last year. He's 3 of 11 for 14 yards. This will come up 1st and 10 for Florida State.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball would be placed at the 35-yard line, 1st down.
Ball was out of bounds, not through the back of the end zone, thus the 35, not the 25. Well, tonight on ESPN, Nick Saban, #1 Alabama, go to Oxford to take on Mississippi, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. We saw Ole Miss. They got some receivers.
That offense is legit. Jordan Ta'amu, probably the best quarterback no one knows about. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf. They're going to challenge that Alabama defense today.
Well, that appeared to be an offside on Syracuse. Defensive end at the top of the screen. Robinson, Coleman moving a little bit earlier. There's a flag down on the play. Francois probably had a free
Offside
one.
on the defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
It's going to go against Chris Slayton. Francois grew up in the Little Haiti neighborhood section of Miami, Florida. Right there right on the block, 62nd Street and North Miami Avenue. Moved to Orlando for middle school. Went to IMG, where he was coached by Chris Wenke, former quarterback and Heisman winner at Florida State. He's looking to fire, completes it to Patrick. Patrick still on his feet. And his forward progress going to be marked at the 48-yard line, and a 12-yard gain.
The angle route from Patrick out of the backfield. Good pass catching running back. Smart decision by Francois. Wish they could just give him some time, because when he's got time, he can really throw the football.
Well, no time there, and he's sacked back at the 43. Kendall Coleman just collapsed the pocket, especially Derek Kelly.
But just a speed rush off the edge. He's going to get that rip up in there. He's going to come right off the edge. Hands are good. Pad leverage. The rip gets up. He turns the corner, and Francois with nowhere to go with the football.
He beat Abdul Bello on the play handily. Sets up 2nd and 18. We've already seen some Florida State players cramping up here in the heat at the Dome. Syracuse apparently not as much affected by it. As we take a look at today's unexpected outcome, brought to you by ExxonMobil. Take a look at some of the games affected by Hurricane Florence, and our prayers and thoughts with the people of the Carolinas. Over 1 million people reportedly without power. I want you to stay safe. 2nd and 18. Francois with time throws a dart complete all the way down to the 36-yard line. Naquan Murray. 55 seconds to go. Plenty of time, Dusty, on the 20-yard gain.
It's a nice throw by Francois. Finds his favorite target, Naquan Murray, middle of the field. Excellent job moving the chains.
Francois. A pass incomplete. No flag called against Christopher Frederick.
Excellent man coverage outside by Chris Frederick. You know, back to Hurricane Florence, just the pictures, the stories we've heard come out of there, devastating. So, I mean, I echo what you said, Jonesy. All of us at ESPN, our thoughts, our prayers are with you guys, and hope you get through this tough time very well.
2nd and 10. Right now on the fringes of field goal range for Logan Tyler. And Ricky Aguayo. Francois off his back foot completes it at the 25-yard line. Man, there was a tight window there for Murray, who made the grab, working against Andrew Armstrong. Went right through his hands.
Deondre Francois, he's tough. He takes a shot on the chin when he delivers that strike to Murray in the middle of the field. Great throw and catch.
No timeouts remaining for Florida State. They've burned all 3. Patrick, one guy to beat. And lunging forward just at the 20-yard line with 15 seconds to go.
Francois slow to get up. Alton Robinson comes off the edge and hits the quarterback another time. Slow to get up.
Do they take a shot here into the end zone and then settle for the field goal? What do you think?
Absolutely, you got to take a shot. Watch for Taylor up top of your screen. 6'4". He's the vertical threat in this offense.
Gavin at the bottom of your screen, number 89. 4 receivers out on this formation. Francois steps up. Incomplete, intended for Murray. No flags on the play, 11 seconds to go.
Francois, 2 plays ago, takes a big hit as he delivers the football.
Man, even if he's not being sacked, he's
been
feeling
taking a
those shoulder
pounding
pads
so far in this first half. Hey, you got to take a shot to the end zone here. At least something on the sidelines where you can get out of bounds quick. Deep out.
Gavin into the boundary. Complete. Not sure he got enough for the first down, though. Keith Gavin working against Robinson. Time winds down, and that's it.
I don't understand it. That's terrible.
You'd have to go to the end zone.
You got to throw something on the sidelines where you know your receiver can get out.
You would have to go into the end zone.
Or you got to throw it to the end zone. I don't understand that. They run a comeback on the sidelines. Gavin isn't close to getting out of bounds, and they squander their best offensive opportunity of the day.
Taggart trying to direct his troops from the sidelines, but to no avail. That's the end of the first half.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. It is the Lexus halftime report. We'll talk more about what you are all watching. But first off, Oklahoma taking on Iowa State. Big upset last year with the Cyclones here. Kyler Murray to Marquise Brown.
The redirect Marquise Brown in the slot. He was double covered on this play, but they never slowed him down, and he burns them with his speed.
So Sooners are up 10-0. Iowa State down 10-3 after a fumble recovery, and then Zeb Nolan to Hakeem Butler.
Bad tackling on the back end, but give Iowa State credit to get back in this game. Down 10-0 to an Oklahoma team with firepower on the offensive side. Scary chance for a blowout, but Iowa State fights back.
And then Kyler Murray here to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, it's not just Marquise Brown. CeeDee Lamb had a huge game last week for the Sooners against UCLA. Lots of weapons at wide receiver for Oklahoma.
And Murray here as well on second to go. Another Miles Tease into the touchdown.
You mentioned the weapons. It's everywhere. Kyler Murray just spreading the ball out. Oklahoma up big, 14 at halftime.
Yeah, that's high scoring and entertaining, unlike the games you are currently watching.
It's entertaining.
I guess if you like
bad.
If you like bad football, and brisk would not be a word you'd use either to describe this first half. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, I'm Adnan Burke. Go ahead, Jess.
Well, Florida State has a myriad of problems right now, right? Clock management issues. Cam Akers has 3 fumbles now in 3 games. They're dropping passes. Not to beat a dead horse, Joey. This offensive line continues to struggle, and the pass protection is just horrendous week in, week out. Bad technique, not knowing who to block, bad effort. The common denominator, though, guys, they're not talented up front. How does that happen at a place like Florida State? We watched last week against Samford, an FCS opponent, Deondre Francois getting his head taken off. And, guys, it's not the system. If Jimbo Fisher's running his pro-style offense, if Tom Osborne came to run triple option, this offense would struggle because their offensive line is so bad. And what's so disheartening about it is that when you watch their defense, I think they're talented enough to compete for an ACC championship. But game in, game out, year in, year out now for the last couple of years, this offensive line continues to let them down.
They're talented in a lot of spaces. Cam Akers very talented. Francois very talented. So when you look at this team, you wonder what the problem is. They have 9 penalties. First half. You don't beat anybody doing that. You don't beat anybody fumbling the ball. And Francois is starting to look like a quarterback that is ready to get hit. He is starting to throw balls where you can tell he's thinking, I'm about to get hit. I have to brace myself. And so the beginning of it, your ability to be physical, your ability to dominate games starts with your offensive line. And if you have problems there, then it trickles down to everywhere else. And when your talented quarterback is starting to look like he's afraid to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball downfield without getting hit, then I don't know what else is going to go right. 9 penalties, you beat nobody with 9 in the first half.
Florida State has led for a total of 4 minutes so far this year. Stunning. Crazy. Of course, the major story has been about Hurricane Florence, and all hoping that there will not be the wreaking of devastation that some are anticipating. How is it impacting the sports landscape, particularly college football? We can tell you that here. So, due to the hurricane, notable games that were canceled: UCF at North Carolina, Will Greer in West Virginia at NC State, East Carolina at Virginia Tech, and Marshall at South Carolina. All those games were canceled earlier in the week because of the potential impact of Hurricane Florence. Still to come here on our Lexus halftime report. Both these games were moved up due to Hurricane Florence. So how is Clemson faring right now, and Georgia as well? Highlights from both those games right after this.
Game day traditions are delivered by Pizza Hut, official pizza of college football. Order now at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
There's no such thing as monsters.
Welcome to Chicago, big boy. Russell Wilson is unflappable.
Don't be scared now.
Looking forward to that Monday night football extravaganza. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, I'm Adnan Burke. Number 2, Clemson hosting Georgia Southern. This game's on ESPNU. Kelly Bryant throws left, intercepted by Kendall Vildor.
It's the first interception thrown by Clemson this year. Kelly Bryant would also get an injury in the first half. Guys, left the game, has not yet returned.
Second quarter, 4th and goal, Travis Etienne.
So much talk about the quarterbacks at Clemson, but Travis Etienne is having a day. 11 carries, 118 yards.
Later in the second, Clemson's driving Trevor Lawrence to Justin Ross.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence came in the game and kind of sparked the offense and did it throwing the football. Justin Ross, a little L1 button, R1 button. Nice job after the catch. Clemson's now cruising.
I'm all about Fortnite. Clemson's up 21-0. That game's on ESPNU. Middle Tennessee facing Georgia, the number 3 team in the country. Second quarter, 1st and 10. It's Tyler Simmons who's going to rush for 56.
Yeah, it's back to the run game for Georgia. This is how they win football games. They run it down your throat, and then they just get clean play out of their defense, and they're tough to beat.
Georgia's up 21-0. Obviously a mismatch. Second quarter, Mecole Hardman.
Well, and how do you stop this Georgia team right now? Because Joey said it, they run it down your throat. Jake Fromm can throw it over your head. And then in special teams, if you allow them to return kicks, Mecole Hardman burns you.
Fromm's got 3 touchdowns for his part, 42-7 right now. Kent State, Penn State. Nittany Lions striking first. Trace McSorley, deep pass to DeAndre Tompkins.
Trace McSorley is the key to this Penn State offense. They're missing Saquon Barkley, but Trace McSorley is the guy they will lean on this season to carry him.
Kent State will answer, though. Woody Barrett to Mike Kerrigan.
Yeah, when you watch this play again, it looks like for a second maybe it was intercepted, but a great job by Kerrigan here, seeing that football all the way into his hands. Nice job on the concentration drill.
McSorley here, 4th and 1. We'll take it to the house. His second rushing touchdown of the game, and we got to get this in. McSorley once again.
Yeah, he looks to me, guys, like he's playing with a chip on his shoulder this year. People wonder what would happen to the offense without Saquon Barkley, without Joe Moorhead calling plays. Well, they look just fine.
Ties a career high with 3 rushing touchdowns. Not all Penn State fans were concerned. Miami on the road at Toledo. First quarter, Malik Rozier up the middle.
This offense to put up 77 points last week. They had to keep things rolling.
77?
Rozier running the football.
Yeah. Formerly known as Rozier, now Rozier. Throwing deep to the end zone, Jeff Thomas.
Well, and of course, we know he struggled throwing the football his last couple games. He had his best game of his career last year against Toledo, so maybe this is a good one for him to get his confidence up.
21-7 right now for the Hurricanes. Still to come here on the Lexus halftime report. TCU's offense versus OSU's defense. Maybe an upset brewing tonight. We'll tell you next.
This halftime report is presented by Lexus. Experience amazing. Welcome back to the Lexus halftime report.
All right, well, TCU is facing Ohio State tonight. It'll be the toughest game so far on the Buckeyes' schedule, and the final game of Urban Meyer's 3-game suspension. How about this battle up front? Sean Robinson can rush it, and Ohio State brings the heat. Let's talk first with TCU, Joey.
Yeah, it's a young quarterback in Sean Robinson. He's leading TCU in rushing and in passing. That is a lot of A lot of pressure on this young quarterback going into his biggest game of his career against an Ohio State defense that is ferocious. And they're going to come after him, try to put pressure on him, get him out of the pocket, and see if he can continue to make plays.
And guys, I think if Clemson's the best D-line in the country, then to me, Ohio State's the second best D-line in the country. When you look at guys like Nick Bosa, Draymond Jones, Chase Young, these guys dominate games. They're so disruptive. They win their one-on-one battles. And I think TCU has a lot of explosive playmakers on offense, but they can't get the ball if quarterback Sean Robinson is on his back. So look for Ohio State's D-line to dominate tonight.
8 Eastern on ABC. Other notable games today, Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin, will be hosting BYU, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. We're looking forward to Boise State, Oklahoma State. That's a critical game for the Broncos as they try to pull off the win in Stillwater. More coming up after this.
This halftime report is presented by Lexus. Experience amazing.
Troy facing Nebraska. B.J. Smith, 9-yard touchdown.
Scott Frost still looking for his first win in Nebraska after losing to Colorado last week. Down early to Troy, but coming back in this game.
Nebraska hasn't started 0-2 since 1957. Right now they're down by 7 early in the third. As for the game you're watching, Jamal Custis here with the catch. Cuse, Florida State. Epic showdown. 6-0 Orange. Your second half's coming up.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Xfinity. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Under the bubble here at Syracuse, a surprisingly low-scoring football game between two teams with offensive-minded coaches. Babers and Willie Taggart, Syracuse and Florida State, respectively. The one prevailing storyline coming into the game this afternoon was going to the oppressive inclemency of the heat. It has been stifling in here to the point where our Molly McGrath reported earlier it was some 88 degrees under the roof. As we take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by John Deere. And the question that begs going into the second half, what of quarterback Eric Dungey? He was knocked up a couple of times and roughed up a few times in that first half. Knocked to the ground. It'll be 1st and 25, Syracuse and Dungey on offense. Now, this was our Molly McGrath a few moments ago, literally chasing down the story on Dungey.
Just a quick couple questions, Coach. Just asked the question last time, Molly. I know. Is your quarterback the other coach? Is your quarterback starting? I don't know yet. You don't know?
So as you can hear, Dino Babers did not want to talk to me at halftime, guys, and I asked him the most pressing question, is your quarterback starting in the second half? He said, I don't know, and looking out here, Eric Dungey is not on the sideline, Mark.
Good wheels by Molly. That's all I know.
Last week it was motorcycle Molly. Right. Now it's marathon Molly, the way she's running after Dino Babers.
Oh, man.
But as we start the second half, no Eric Dungey.
No. It's Tommy DeVito in a quarterback. He threw that nice pass on that drive late in the first half. So the storyline shifting now as Riley makes the catch for Syracuse. Mark Jones chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak. We saw Molly a moment ago on that report. What do you make of Tommy DeVito and the way he accounted for himself in the latter part of the first half?
Well, he stepped in, he threw a dime. A great touch pass to Jamal Custis on the sidelines. Syracuse unable to get it in from the one for a touchdown, but in limited throws we've seen him be decisive. We've seen him throw the football on the money. So long second half, and a really talented Florida State defense can be coming after the young quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see if they try and heat him up a little bit. We talked about Eric Dungey at the top of the show. Injuries have been a concern for him in his time here at Syracuse. DeVito incomplete at the 38-yard line, in and out of the arms of Ravian Pierce.
Some of that pressure coming. Jaden Woodby, the true freshman, 5-star recruit, coming off the edge. Good coverage and man-to-man on the outside, forcing the incompletion. Not surprising, they want to heat up this young redshirt freshman, make life a little bit uncomfortable for him back in the pocket.
DeVito given time, going up top. Down the sideline, tiptoe and caught. Express yourself, Jamal Custis.
Concentration on the sidelines by the 6'5" Jamal Custis in a breakout season so far. Turns for the football, 2 hands on it, gets the foot in bounds. Excellent adjustment to the ball.
33 yards and a handoff now to Dontae Strickland. Boy, what a catch by Custis right down the sidelines, Dusty.
Concentration, little push off, he got away with it. Foot stays in bounds. Matter of fact, he might have got 2 in as he tumbles out of bounds. Say probably offensive pass interference with the push off, but referee didn't see it. Jamal Custis, the beneficiary of a big-time catch.
Beat Kyle Myers on that play, a pretty good cover corner. 2nd down and 7. Tommy DeVito in at quarterback for the starter, Eric Dungy. Let's watch DeVito run it here. Slides head first, dives head first inside the 20-yard line, picks up 8 on the play.
Smart play by DeVito, just taking what he can get, getting the 1st down.
Gonna go quick from the 25 and blown up by Double B. Brian Burns busting through that line. That's a big-time hit, Dusty.
Well, Brian Burns' get off. Watch him get into the backfield from Jump Street. As soon as the ball is snapped, he's in the backfield, and that's who DeVito's reading. Bad read by DeVito, an outstanding play by Brian Burns, forcing the issue to the quarterback, and a big tackle for loss.
Makes it a 2nd and 16. Empty formation, 5 receivers. Custis open on sidelines, but DeVito going to tiptoe out of bounds right around the 25, pursued by Marvin Wilson. Good pressure that time by the Seminoles. Florida State's defense has been able to bow up and get stops down here previously, Dusty.
Yeah, as they get inside the 30s, it's a different Florida State defense. They're really, locking in and being able to come up with some key stops.
Strickland in the backfield.
Can they keep up that same tempo with DeVito in at quarterback and not being Eric Dungy? Eric Dungy, again, a 3-year starter in this Babers system.
He's their leader, but it's DeVito's show. Throws it out of bounds. He's outside the pocket. Ball did not go beyond the line of scrimmage. Brian Burns again in pursuit, and now it's going to be ruled grounding.
And it should be.
Yep.
I didn't think he got outside the tackle box.
Boy, Brian Burns, invariable effort on that play.
See him standing up at the line of scrimmage. Just watch. He doesn't beat anybody with a great pass rush move, but watch the motor. Watch the ability to stay with the play, be relentless in his pursuit to the quarterback.
Brian Burns going to need to hydrate pretty well after this game. We've seen him cramp up earlier and looks to be uncomfortable almost after every play, but still out there. Time to punt for Hofrichter.
He's a highly talented player with an outstanding rushing skill set. But when you combine the motor he plays with to it, you got one of the better rush ins in all of college football.
Matthews standing on his own 10-yard line, watches it go over his head and carry him into the end zone. Folks, let's take a look at this blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear. Jamal Custis.
DeVito just letting his receiver make a play. Love the adjustment in the air, Jonesy. He gets the foot in bounds for the big catch.
It's going to be a DeVito show apparently from here on in. Reports indicating that Dungy not on the sidelines right now. 1st and 10 for Deondre Francois. Out of Miami, Florida. 1st and 10 from the 20. Out of the backfield, Akers looking for a block and brought down at the 23-yard line. Willie Taggart said Akers Patrick have to be patient. When you talk about patience in the context of the running game, what does he mean in layman's terms?
He means don't always be looking for the home run. Sometimes you got to be patient, and if it's just a 4 or 5 yard run, take what the defense gives you instead of constantly looking for that big play. The big play will open up, but don't force anything. Just be patient and allow it to happen.
Francois pulled it out this time and picks up 2 on the play as we take a look at some of the cogent numbers from the first half. Boy, Florida State struggling offensively still. 5-3 and out.
Well, it's the offensive line. They've really struggled to protect Francois, to open up any type of running holes for the running backs. A lot of penetration, a lot of pressure throughout that first half. Couple that with some untimely penalties for Florida State, and it was a rough one.
Francois, a little jump ball, and he overshot Gavin, who was wide open. And the 8th 3 and out for Florida State. They have been able to convert on 3rd down today.
Well, this is one Francois is going to wish he had back. He had his senior wide receiver, Keith Gavin, wide open on the sidelines. You see Gavin working here. He's going to get up the field. Defender falls down.
With a little help, Dusty.
Yeah. Might have been offensive PI, but still, Francois has got to complete that pass.
On the return, this is Cordy. And tackled immediately nicely in the open field by Florida State. And Asante Samuel Jr. again. 38 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. Been a tough day for Eric Dontae, the starting quarterback, 3-year starter for Syracuse. He has taken some big hits, and they have taken their toll collectively on Dontae, who right now isn't in the ballgame. Maybe the worst was that personal foul, the late hit that he took.
That didn't help. And this was the huge question mark coming into this game in the season for Syracuse. Can they keep that guy, Eric Dontae, healthy? Can he keep himself out of harm's way? And he doesn't make it out of the first half.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito in at quarterback again. Came in late in the first half. Hands it off to his tailback, Mo Neal. And Mo Neal with a little momentum. And a 12-yard gain and moving the chains.
Mo Neal, more that shifty, quicker, make-you-miss guy. Showing a little power there between the tackles.
Neal going to try it again, partner. This time stopped up at the line of scrimmage at the 48.
Mark, coaches were telling Tommy DeVito not to force anything. They're saying stay calm. And Dino Babers went up to Mo Neal and Dontae Strickland and said, we're going to lean on you here. Those two are known as thunder and lightning, guys.
He's going to need a little bit of help collectively around it. DeVito threw for 3,800 yards in high school a couple of years ago. But this is Florida State he's playing against. Completes the out to Sean Riley, close to the first down.
Sean Riley
It's up 8.
Such a good job sitting down in soft coverage, zone coverage, knowing how to get open.
And another Florida State Seminole down on the field. That's Janarius Robinson, number 11, holding his lower right leg area.
That's the 3rd Seminole we've seen cramping so far here today in the Carrier Dome.
When you see them, often when you see them push up on the toes like that, cramp. Hey, Gatorade usually works.
I need one.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Audi.
And welcome back, everyone, to Syracuse, where the first fine arts degree was created in 1874. Speaking of fine arts, some drama unfolding here, and our producer Kim Belton brought his diploma. 1875.
He's aged
super
well.
duper senior.
He's aged well.
Gonna run it between the tackles. This is Mo Neal. And Neal picks up a first down. Got 6 on that play. Mo Neal came into the game averaging a little over 4 yards per carry. They're going fast.
Good tough running by Mo Neal. That was a 3rd and short, and on several of the 3rd and 4th and shorts to close out the first half, Syracuse was denied. Excellent extra effort by Mo Neal to fight to get the first down.
DeVito hands it off to him again. A burst up the middle and a good gain again by Mo Neal. Got about 7 or 8 more. It's Westbrook making the tackle on the play. Syracuse getting into their tempo game. Out onto the edge, Pierce. Broke a tackle. 1st and goal, Syracuse.
To play receiver in this offense, you got to block on the edge. 5, Devin Butler sets up this right here. Excellent blocking on the perimeter. And 6, Ravian Pierce takes advantage. And another Seminole defender on the ground. And I'm guessing the fans here, as they get upset, they're wondering, is it cramps? Or is this a way for the Florida State defense to maybe catch their breath?
That is a point well made, especially taking Syracuse out of their offensive flow right now. Syracuse has had many opportunities down in the shadows of the goalposts, but they've run the ball each time, 6 times in all, and Dino Babers' squad unable to get into the end zone. Dusty, at some point, are we going to expect them to pass it?
Well, I mean, I understand.
They ran it 3 times in a row last time, didn't get anywhere.
Right. He wants to announce, you know, their physicality here against a team like Florida State. But at some point, don't you have to play action? Don't you have to understand that Florida State is fully selling out to stop your run game and make them pay for that? Yeah. They're back here inside the 10. We'll find out if Dino Babers learned a little something from their deficiencies in the first half.
And they got a new quarterback in. His name is Tommy DeVito.
He's been impressive so far, Jonesy. Decisive, getting the ball out quick and clean. Nice job running this offense.
4 receivers, 1 back.
One thing we saw in the first half, they went more big people, multiple tight ends, you know, multiple people in the backfield. Now they're still going to spread it out in their 11 personnel.
DeVito's going to run it. Gets inside the 5. Picked up 5 yards. Syracuse on the cusp of getting their first touchdown of the game. In a huge stage for Dino Babers' team.
It was like a touchdown which allowed them to break through, right, in this game, as well as Dino Babers. He tried to downplay the importance of this game, but we know when you play a team like Florida State, it just means a little bit more. It would be a huge win for this program.
They've never started 3-0 under Babers. And Syracuse is going to call timeout.
Syracuse, their first.
2nd and goal. That's their first one of the second half. With 7:28 to go in the 3rd. Well, when you talk about excellence in Syracuse, Coach Boeheim comes to mind.
If you see somebody that's better than you, if you look in your mind's eye and you know that somebody has something that you don't, why not ask yourself why? Why not ask yourself, how can you get it? Who told you that they get to have a monopoly on greatness?
Little fire and brimstone for Dino Babers' team from our very own Stephen A. Smith earlier this year. From inside the 5, Syracuse with the football threatening. Custis lined up as a receiver. They throw it up, jump ball, and a little too far. Working against Stanford Samuels, the safety.
A little too quick.
That was there.
You gotta allow the receiver a chance to get out there if you're gonna throw it that far to the corner of the end zone. A little bit off on his pass, but yes, I'll take that. You take that matchup any day of the week. A 6'5" Jamal Custis working on the 6'2" Stanford Samuels. And Custis can just go up and get it. Got those long arms.
See if they go right back to him. DeVito's going to run it. Touchdown! Oh, it came loose. But a touchdown signal first.
Well, they told us yesterday that Eric Dungey was the heartbeat of this team, and as he goes, we go. But enter Tommy DeVito, and he's not shied away from the moment. He's led this offense extremely well, and finally leads the Orange into the end zone to pay dirt. I think he crossed the goal line before that ball came loose. We'll take a look at it here. Great angle by our camera crew. I think that's a touchdown. He's got control.
Yeah, it looked
and
like
then the ball comes out.
Play is under further review.
But that
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
that's a statement drive from your backup quarterback, especially given, Jonesy, how much did they tell us yesterday what Eric Dungey means to this football team and how important it was that he stays healthy? For a backup quarterback, redshirt freshman, to step in and be able to lead this offense that way speaks volumes about the growth of this program.
Certainly does. He had a tremendous spring game. He was 8 of 15. Threw a touchdown, 58 yards, and showed a lot of promise, knowing he was going to be the backup.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Stephen A. Smith, you know, whenever he came in, that really stuck with him. And as our very own Molly Marathon McGrath said in the open today, the impression it left on them is they wanted to annihilate their opponent. Like Stephen A.'s words are ringing some bells today here in Syracuse.
Well, amongst what he said was, if you see that someone else has what you want, don't be afraid to go work for it and go get it. And DeVito has the stage. Coach Babers, his voice intoning passionately earlier, proclaimed this. It's an opportunity for them to have a fight with someone their own size, and they're up to it right now. We talked about the dynamic and magnetic personality of Dino Babers, the head coach. Boy, if the eyes are the windows to the soul, then those eyes told a great story, an inspiring one right now for Syracuse. We lead 13-0. Back to the studio.
All right, Josie, thank you very much. Keeping you posted on what's happening with Oklahoma and Iowa State. Cyclones making life interesting against the Sooners. David Montgomery, the touchdown. It's only a 7-point game right now on ABC, under 4 to go in third. And holy Toledo, Mitchell Guadagnini to Deontay Johnson. Now, excuse me, now it's 35-21. That's Lawrence Cager, the touchdown from Malik Rozier. That's on ESPN 2. Josie?
They don't sleep on Toledo. They gave Miami a battle last time. 13-0. And Deondre Francois has to get things going here. Jacquez Patrick in the backfield beside him. Completes it at the 20-yard line. Good tackle by Cordy on Murray. Well, tonight on ABC, we'll have a top 15 matchup. Number 4 Ohio State, number 15 TCU in Arlington. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also on the ESPN app. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Who do you like in that game real quick? TCU, Ohio State.
I think TCU keeps it close, but Ohio State just a little bit too much firepower. But Gary Patterson got a great defense. He's a heck of a football coach.
Pass complete. The tall, strapping Tamarian Terry. Let's go back a little bit. At halftime of last week's game, quarterback Deondre Francois reminded his teammates of the opportunity. Said that last year, guys, I wasn't even playing at this time. I was injured, rehabbing. The game can be taken from you at any time. Let's not blow any opportunities. They came back and won. See how inspired they are here in the third this week. Sacked back at the 17 by Coleman.
Well, Jawan Williams, we thought coming into the game that he was going to have issues on the edge. Kendall Coleman working on him, gets his hand. You see the dips underneath the shoulder of the offensive tackle, tightens up that edge. He keeps it really clean, and he gets to the quarterback once again. Deondre Francois been under constant pressure from the opening snap here today.
Tyler punting from his own 8, a high spiral. Cordy back at his own 43, and Syracuse is going to have great starting field position after that 39-yard punt. Take a look at the preseason poll in the ACC. Clemson, and then kind of wide open after that, right?
Syracuse making a little bit of a statement here today. I'll tell you, I think Boston College has shown very well so far. They've got an outstanding team. Syracuse has looked good. NC State, I still really like their quarterback, Ryan Finley. Virginia Tech on the other side, been really impressed with what we've seen out of them so far. So it's going to be an interesting year in the ACC, but it'd be crazy not to say that Clemson is the team to beat. That defensive line, some of the freaks they've got on that team, they're loaded.
Ravian Howard getting his first appearance in the backfield. They swing it outside to Johnson. And Johnson hit by A.J. Westbrook. Picked up 7 on the play. Syracuse going fast. Elmore, the big guy, split wide, a 2-by-2 formation.
Watch up here. They'll run the screen up here with a big, what's like an offensive lineman out front to block.
DeVito hands it off straight ahead. It's Howard. 3rd and short coming up after the 2-yard gain.
Ooh, that's big-time football right there. Hakeem Johnson running through. A.J. Westbrook's tackle.
Howard breaking through and breaking loose. Tackled at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Syracuse.
With a true freshman with a huge impact. Not much there inside. They wash down the left side. He makes one man miss. It's a linebacker, Dontae Jackson, and he's off to the races in the secondary. Ravian Howard built like a rock and a big run, setting Syracuse up in prime real estate.
A 45-yard gallop, the longest of the day. 1st and goal, Syracuse. DeVito into the end zone, touchdown! Ravian Pierce. Tell you what, that was a slam dunk as far as Coach Boeheim's concerned. Pierce with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season, the 6th of his career. They're reawakening the echoes of the great past here at Syracuse, and last night the athletic director, John Wildhack, spoke to the 96-98 team.
And our goal is to take our program now and to get it where you built it to. We want to get back to championship caliber football. We want to win ACC titles. That's what the goal is. We win ACC titles, then we'll be right there for national titles. That's the objective, that's the goal.
Lofty standards set by John Wildhack, a former colleague of ours, doing a great job here at Syracuse.
Really impressed with what he's done. I think it's so imperative to bring back the guys of the past. Donovan McNabb, Keith Bullock, Rob Conrad, Donovan Darius, all in the house last night. You've got to go back to those guys, bring them back into the family, create that culture. On Wildhack, an outstanding job as the athletic director here at Syracuse.
Both he and Dino Babers making that connection to their great past. Bruton on the return, and he got roughed up. Devin Clark with a big hit. That's what football sounds like, folks.
Get you a little taste of the real thing, Jonesy.
Rattle my feelings a little bit.
Well, And a penalty on Florida State to make matters worse. 3:29 left in the third quarter. You're starting to feel like Florida State's got to start to make their move.
Well, Syracuse players told me, you know, it's 2- and 3-star recruits taking on the 5 stars at Florida State. They have a definite chip on their shoulder. They were just telling each other, way to get in that big-time quarterback space. They're taking pride in the fact that they are dominating this big-name program. We even have fans cheering, we want Bama.
Wow. Easy, easy.
Pump those brakes. Francois eluded the safety and fires a rope to Keith Gavin, giving himself a little bit of breathing room, and they're going fast now. DJ Matthews with the catch.
Well, it's good pressure inside once again. No blocking for Francois. He says, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Gets outside the pocket, fires a strike on the sidelines.
25 yards, the longest of the day. Florida State still hasn't scored a touchdown against an FBS opponent this year. Only had 3 points against Virginia Tech, and last week 36 against Samford, an FCS team. Francois sliding head first.
We got to give Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator at Syracuse, a ton of credit. Okay, he was very confident. We sat down with him yesterday, his 3rd year here at Syracuse, his 1st year down on the field, which he doesn't like. But man, does he have his defense playing at a very high level.
Little trips left formation for the Seminoles. Looking for the double throw. Gavin downfield and couldn't get there in time. Murray threw it. And Syracuse didn't bite.
That's a true freshman who's staying home, who's playing assignment, disciplined football. That's a smart play there by Florida State. Try to take advantage of the double pass, but a true freshman safety in Andre Cisco was not to be fooled.
That really shows Cisco's maturation.
That's right.
When he struggled and got burned earlier this year on a couple of deep balls. 3rd and 6. Pressure, sack! Francois brought down to the 31-yard line. Jonathan beat Abdul Bello on the play.
Well, it's been a little bit of everybody today. This time we're going to take a look at Jonathan off the edge. Guys have been outstanding. Jonathan, you see him swat the hands. It's not just Jonathan, it's also 95 Chris Slayton. Everybody's getting in on the sack party.
They are shutting out Florida State. I'm not sure anybody expected this. Fair catch called by Cordy on the 36-yard punt as we punt it back to the studio with Adnan.
All right, Mark Jones, thank you very much. Updating you on Temple and Maryland. Temple 0-2 to start. Blocked punt here. Jesse Anabono. 27 yards will scamper in. So that's good news for the Terps. They're still down 28-14 with just over 8 minutes left in this game. Owls trying to get their first victory of the season. An upset alert on Nebraska. Haven't started 0-2 since 1957, but the Troy Trojans are up 17-13, under 10 to go. Jonesy.
All right, back here, Adnan, 1:36 to go. And the pass to the flag complete. Johnson darting down the sideline into Florida State territory.
The bubble screen on the outside. We've talked about this. You better tackle well in space in this game. And on that play, Florida State safety Stanford Samuels does not tackle well in a big gain for 82. Nykeem Johnson down the sideline.
23-yard gain, 1st and 10. Handed off to Howard, who had that long run in the previous scoring series.
True freshman. It's well put together. 210-plus pounds, a little bit more bigger, physical back. We saw the speed earlier when he broke out in the open field.
DeVito completes a little receiver screen to Johnson. Johnson picks up a couple of yards. Momentum clearly in favor of Florida State. How do they even try or think about wresting a little bit of momentum back at this point with this defense on its heels collectively?
They want to stay pedal to the metal. They're not going to back down and not going to slow up. They're going to do what they do. Though it seems that they are taking a little bit off the gas.
Go backfield, Howard as a receiver this time, picks up another first down, and they're going to spot him at about the 21-yard line.
DeKalen Brooks, the linebacker, gets matched up in man-to-man coverage on the running back, Jarvian Howard, who's had a monster third quarter for this Syracuse offense, and Brooks can't beat him to the spot. Nice little touch pass by DeVito. An easy first down out in the flats.
16-yard gain, and that will punctuate the end of the third quarter as Coach Babers puts 4 fingers to the sky. DeVito, 10 of 12 passing. Babers, backup quarterback, doing a great job. It's all in the eyes, folks. Babers making that connection. Back for the fourth quarter in a minute. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Xfinity. A look at the Florida State sidelines during that last quarter break. Willie Taggart bringing his crew in together, his voice intoning passionately, trying to bring them together as one. And chemistry has been a problem with this team since he took over, or at least previous to when he took over. Felt there were, what, 80 different players and 80 different agendas.
That's what he said when he took over. He said the first order of business was getting these guys to come together, play for one another. Said guys didn't hang out with their other teammates. Really want to make it a family atmosphere.
Vito incomplete.
Well, guys, Willie Taggart was trying to instill a little bit of fire in his team. Their body language on the sideline is pretty bad. Their heads are down, their shoulders are hunched over, and when guys are spirited, they're arguing with each other here on the Florida State sideline.
Well, Willie Taggart has done a great job at his previous stops. Western Kentucky, pass complete to Pierce, and Pierce picks up a first down. Looks like it'll be 1st and goal, Syracuse.
I'll tell you what, Devin Butler, 5. He's had a couple of drops the first couple of games, but the one thing the coaching staff told us, he's an outstanding blocker. Look at him down here, just getting locked up and open up some room for Ravian Pierce to get the first down.
Vito hands it off. Good fake afterwards. Howard on the carry. Stopped up right around the 10-yard line. And just getting back to Willie Taggart, he will turn it around at Florida State. He's a guy who has been successful at each of his previous stops, especially at South Florida. Great offensive mind. Great tactician. Recruiter.
It took him a couple of years at both Western Kentucky and South Florida before they got it going, but I agree with you.
DeVito following his guard and tackle through the hole, stopped up at the 5-yard line by Christmas. Picked up 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and goal for Syracuse. Taggart, a native of Bradenton, Florida.
Big 3rd down for the Florida State defense. If they can hold them to 3, it's realistically still a 3-possession game if you're able to get 2-point conversions.
Timeout. Syracuse, their second.
Timeout on the field. An extra yard for Teachers Week is a week-long celebration of teachers led by the College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. Now, visit the College Football Playoff Foundation website at www.cfp-foundation.org to learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers Week and see how you can get involved. And we spoke a little bit earlier with Coach Babers about his influences.
One of the influential people in my life was Homer Smith. Homer Smith was a long-time offensive coordinator, basically between UCLA and Alabama, taught me a lot of the ropes, and some of the influential people around me. One of my first assistant jobs came from Jim Coletto, who was another person who had worked with Homer Smith. And every year I call Kathy Smith to let her know how much that Homer means, how much he meant to me. And he had passed away in cancer recently. And but he's somebody that's influenced my life in a very positive way. And I want her to know every year how much I miss him and love him. So Homer Smith, I know you're looking down at me, and I promise you I'm doing my clock drives right. Thank you very much.
A real heartfelt moment by Dino Babers, and talked about other influences, Dick Tomey, June Jones, Art Briles.
Art Briles, his offense is all over what Dino has here in Syracuse. The bones of it are from that Baylor offense, but Dino's got his own twist on it here in Syracuse.
Szmyt from 23, high snap, but they get it down, and it's 23-0 for Syracuse. Dino Babers with that infectious energy affecting his team in a great way right now. Hey, our Week 2 Monday Night Football matchup has Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in Chicago taking on Khalil Mack of the Bears, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, also simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish and available on the ESPN app. So you can watch anywhere. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown 6, served by Applebee's. Your former Bears, Khalil Mack, balled out in the first half of that game last week.
Balling out till he falling out, man. The only problem was Aaron Rodgers woke up in the second half. Man, that was crazy. I thought he may be done for the season, and that second half and fourth quarter he had in that comeback ripped Bears fans' hearts out all across Chi-Town. But I'm with you. Khalil Mack, he's going to give Russell Wilson all he wants answered.
This will come out first down and 10. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you. I want to update you on what's happening with regards to Troy and Nebraska. It's going to be the biggest upset of the day. B.J. Smith, 26-yard touchdown run as the Trojans are up 24-13, 6:45 left to go in this one. And coming up next, Brett Rippon and Boise State. If they have any interest to crash the party with regards to college football playoff, they've got to beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater. 35 minutes away from kick. Jonesy, back to you and Dusty.
Okay, Adnan. Kind of feeling like last call for Florida State here with a little under 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Haven't scored today. Francois completes it to Gavin. And Gavin puts his hat down and makes it out to the 36-yard line. An 11-yard gain, they move the chains.
This offensive line of Florida State, you know, they've had some injuries. They've had to mix a lot of different guys in there, but they've yet to be able to find any kind of proper group that's worked out.
Gavin with a nice catch and extra yardage afterwards, lost the handle. Out of bounds about a yard shy of the first down marker. As for Deondre Francois, in just his third game of the season, missed pretty much all the last year after that first game loss against Alabama. He was ready to go this week, or at least he was in the meeting rooms with the offensive linemen, visiting them, in meeting rooms with the wide receivers, visiting them, in the meeting rooms with the running backs, visiting them, but somehow it hasn't amounted to much success so far. Akers on 2nd and 1, stopped up short of that first down. And now let's take a look at this week's rankings brought to you by Allstate. Alabama Ole Miss coming up 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. I'll be watching that on my app in transit home. Great ball game. I think Ole Miss and those receivers got a little something for Alabama.
Watch out for Jordan Ta'amu this afternoon. He's got an outstanding arm and great receivers.
3rd and 1. Akers has the first down. Made the safety miss. Still on his feet, and Akers brought down to the 38-yard line. Somebody lost a hat out there. Good move by Akers. Tell you what, Akers hit Cisco with that sauce, Dusty.
Little crossover.
Oh. Hit him with a two-piece right here.
Well, Cam Akers, he's got the ability to make you miss. He can run you over. Oh. A true freshman hadn't seen a move like that, partner.
They fake the jet sweep. Francois sacked. Al Alton Robinson living in the backfield tonight.
I told you guys coming into this game, it worried me that they would be able to protect Francois, especially with this guy. Alton Robinson coming off the edge. He's going to get his hands. It's a simple speed rush. All it is a chop rip. 74, Derek Kelly has no chance, doesn't get his hands up, his feet don't move, and it's another easy sack for the Syracuse defense. They thought they had a decided advantage with their defensive line, and it's shown to be true here this afternoon.
Great sack by Robinson. 2nd and 19. Backside pressure again, incomplete. Francois hit again, this time by Kendall Coleman. Okay, so you're talking about, tell me what a chop rip is.
Okay, so shoot your hands. Here's my chop, and this chop gets my hips flipped, and then I'm going to rip through, step through, and I'm angling right to the quarterback. So the chop flips the hips and gets the handoff, and the rip gets you through.
Okay.
And Alton Robinson's been doing it all day long, and it's been constant pressure on the quarterback.
Been working.
You got some good hands.
Hey, man, don't let me get him on you.
Not
you don't
bad
want
for an old guy. You know what I'm talking about, Jonesy?
You don't want these hands. Kelly in on the offensive line. Francois just got away with it, and it's incomplete. Gavin was there. Terry was there, but neither able to make the catch. This time it was Kendall Coleman with the pressure on Francois.
Well, Kendall Coleman, he gave a little deke on the left tackle.
Holding on the offense, number 54. Penalty is declined, 4th down.
Okay, and a freeze. Take a look at Kendall Coleman, a different kind of pass rush. We're going to call this one an out, in, out, okay? He's going to work it up the field, then work in, and then back out. And that's a chop arm over as he beats the offensive tackle clean and forces the throw before Francois wants to deliver it. Again, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush has been the name of the game for this Syracuse defense from the moment go here this afternoon.
10th punt of the game for Logan Tyler, a career high. 23-0. These are different times for Florida State. You'd have to go back to 2006 in the record books. Just got a little bit warmer in here for Willie Taggart. They haven't been shut out since 2006.
ESPN College Football is presented by Xfinity, now with ESPN3 available on Xfinity X1, and in part by Mitsubishi Motors. Drive your ambition.
Tell you what, you, my partner over here, a little wet. Yeah.
I sweat. That's right. I sweat. So I got a text message from an NFL GM who was in the house watching some of these ballers out here today. And he said, man, I had to go early. I had no idea it was so freaking hot here inside the dome.
It's actually hotter inside than it is outside. And just to let our viewing public know, you're not the only one that's sweating through his shirt here today. I started the day at 189. I'm down to about 185 right now, Dusty. O'Neal with the catch.
Get a new belt before I make it home.
Under 10 minutes to go, and this Syracuse team pitching a shutout against Florida State. Gain of about 2 yards by Neal. Keep in mind that Florida State last year finished 7-6 overall, and to get that last win to become bowl eligible, they rescheduled a game against UL Monroe, Louisiana.
Let's not forget, this is one of the more storied programs in all of college football. They own the record for 36 straight bowl appearances, 41 straight winning seasons.
Yeah, that's incredible success.
Off to a 1-2 start. Willie Taggart has got to right the ship and get things figured out in a timely fashion.
DeVito incomplete, in and out of the hands of Johnson. So it'll be 4th down coming up for Syracuse. Willie Taggart has some pretty good coaching lineage. Worked at Stanford with Jim Harbaugh for a couple of years as a coach there on that staff. Still has a great connection with the Harbaughs. Matthews back on his own 37-yard line, looking for a big play for the Seminoles. Off Richter with the punt. Boy, he gets off a moonshot. Wow. All the way back to the 27. Adnan, anything in the air that long should have a movie on it. Back to you.
Cinephile approved for that one, Jonesy. Troy taking on Nebraska. Here's your bunch, J.D. Spielman. And how about it? Nebraska has started 0-2 since 1957. They're down by 5. There's 2:55 left to go. Jonathan Taylor is firmly in the Heisman Trophy conversation, and Wisconsin has aspirations of making the playoff. They're coming up next. That game will be on ABC. Jonesy.
All right. Jonathan Taylor, boy, an exciting guy to watch. 9 minutes to go here.
His O-line's pretty good up there, too, Jonesy.
Yeah.
They can mash people.
A time-honored formula for the Badgers. Francois incomplete for Gavin at the 35.
Nykeem Johnson said it this week. We're definitely looking to run up the score and annihilate them. Stats don't always tell the story, but I would say this afternoon, stats have told the story pretty well. Almost 2 times the amount of plays. 2.5 times as many yards. Almost double the time of possession. Pitching a shutout here with 9 to go in the 4th quarter.
Francois has a little bit of time here, a rarity. Gavin makes a great catch at the 32. And a rare first down for the Seminoles on the long gain. He beat Frederick on the play. 39-yard gain, and there was Syracuse players shaken up.
Dime by Deondre Francois, but the focus, the concentration by Gavin to bring that ball in off the charts. Great grab by the junior wide receiver, Keith Gavin.
And that's Frederick down at the play, the guy who was beaten by Gavin. We'll be back after this. You know, 1966 was the first meeting between these two schools. Floyd Little rushed for 193, 3 touchdowns to lead Syracuse to its one and only win in the series in the 12 meetings, 37-21. Floyd Little, one of the all-time greats. And Florida State looking like its 10-game winning streak against Syracuse going to be snapped here. Francois taking off. Oh, he put his foot in the ground, but a great cut. And it's going to be 1st and goal Seminoles from about the 9.
Good recognition by Francois. Nothing down the field. They're man-to-man coverage, so he's got the back of defenders' heads facing him. Green grass in front. Nice pickup.
Patrick in the backfield. Francois surveys. Incomplete in the end zone, intended for McKitty.
And unable to get Trey McKitty going today. It's such a key weapon for Francois the first couple of weeks. He had 5 grabs in each game. Really not a whole lot of anything's worked well for this Noel offense.
He didn't throw a bunch in the spring. Finally did. Got all the reps, or most of the reps in the fall. Still picking up the nuances to Willie Taggart's Gulf Coast offense. Francois over the middle, complete to Gavin. And Gavin tackled just shy of the 5, setting up a 3rd down and goal. Tonight on ESPN, Alabama #1 goes to Oxford. In the shadows of the Grove, it can be treacherous there. 7 p.m. Eastern time, live on the ESPN app as well. Alabama, Ole Miss. Patrick forced out of bounds shy of the end zone at the 5 by Whitner. So 4th down coming up. You got to assume they're just going to leave the offense on the field here.
Kylan Whitner, a converted safety. Excellent job running to the football, cutting off Patrick before he can get to the edge. Got to think they're throwing the football here into the end zone. Watch down here at the bottom of your screen. Terry Got one-on-one coverage.
He's a big target, number 15. Francois goes through his progression. Incomplete, but a flag thrown. Intended for Patrick coming out of the backfield. Evan Foster was the guy that was draped all over him.
He got there a tad bit early, partner.
Interference on the defense, number 14. First down.
The crowd doesn't like it, but I think it was the correct call. He's got that right arm hook, Jonesy.
Yeah.
And he's got the right arm hooked around the body. I don't know if they saw that one, and the contact got there a little early. Good call by the official.
First and goal, Florida State.
These fans want to secure that shutout.
Yeah, they're looking for that donut up there on the scoreboard to remain. Jacquez Patrick in a tailback. Behind Francois. Gavin in the slot. Terry split wide. They hand it off to Jacquez Patrick with nowhere to go. Not much of a surge from that offensive line, Dusty.
Well, Chris Slayton just getting up the field. He swims a guard. He splits the double team. He makes the play in the backfield. Man, it squats 700 pounds. 24.5 tackles for loss coming into the game. Watch him swim those two offensive linemen to get in the backfield. They needed him to come up big, and he's been a monster in the middle of this Orange defense. Chris Slayton making a name for himself here today.
One of the leaders on that front. Second and goal. 3 receivers out to the top of your screen. Terry the inside one. Patrick in motion. Francois keeps it and scores the touchdown. That is their first touchdown against an FBS team this year. And his second rushing touchdown of the season.
76. Big Arthur Williams. Watch him get out. He's going to knock out Alton Robinson. 59. Brady Scott's going to get up on the safety. Evan Foster, Deondre Francois, able to finally get the Knowles offense into the end zone.
Ricky Aguayo with the extra point. There's several Aguayos that have kicked at Florida State. He knocks it through. 6:16 to go. It's a 23-7 game. Timeout on the field, and I ask you this. How many head coaches have one of their players living at the crib, at his house, in the basement? We'll tell you, Hugh, on the other side. Going back several years, Coda Martin, offensive lineman for Syracuse, thought he'd played his final game in high school with his dad, a coach. Played at Texas A&M and then met Jasmine Babers. The two of them subsequently got married. Coda Martin's dad, now a coach here at Syracuse. And on the onside kick, Syracuse fielding it cleanly. Strickland down to the 25. But interesting that Jasmine and Coda get married. They live in Coach Dino Babers' basement. What a great, unique situation to have that and your dad also on staff, Molly.
Yeah, and Coda transferred to Syracuse to be closer to family, but he's made it known, not his wife's, as he married Jasmine Babers. And a lot of people say, you know, it can be a slippery slope having your son-in-law play for you on the offensive line, but everyone has said that Coda Martin has worked hard for his starting position, and a lot of them respect him because of that.
And you know, the other aspect that kind of gets lost in it is he's a hell of a football player. I mean, the guy does a really good job blocking. He'd be starting for Texas A&M right now, had 16 starts there. And so he really helps his football team from a physicality standpoint. And I thought it was very interesting. that he said he wanted to come here and help change the culture. He wanted to be a part of the change and what's going on here at Syracuse with his father-in-law, with his father, obviously coaching the team. And I thought it was interesting. Dino says, doesn't treat him any differently than any of the other players. And he says to him, well, he was asked a question this week, what happens whenever you come home? And he says, well, whenever I come home, Coda's in bed. Whenever I go back to the office, he's still in bed. So no different than his other players he has on the team.
Awesome story. The run, close to the first down. That was Dontae Strickland. And by the way, Jasmine, former volleyball player at Texas A&M. They met at a Fellowship of Christian Athletes gathering. It's pretty cool having the son-in-law at the crib, though.
Not bad. Keep tabs on him. You know what I mean?
Get some extra film.
Jasmine gets a little bit of credit for her recruiting efforts.
Great-looking family. Third down and 1.
Nice set of locks there on Coda Martin as well. You know, I could appreciate some nice long hair on a big ugly.
DeVito, I know you weren't talking about yourself. You know, you were shortly and nicely coiffed there on the sides. Hey, tonight after college football on ESPN with Stand and Neil, Kirk Herbstreit joins the show to break down Ohio State TCU, plus all the best moments from college gridiron action and reactions from Stephen A. Smith, Teddy Atlas following the Canelo Triple G fight, a big one. Sports Center, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Pacific, after Washington, Utah on ESPN and also on the ESPN app. Approaching 4 minutes to go. That's going to be Strickland. Yeah, you see Elmore with the number 36 with the long hair out the back, and Martin with the long hair back a couple of weeks ago when we were down at doing that Texas Tech game in Houston. I didn't even recognize you back in the day with the flowing locks out the back. You know, like that's the guy I'm working with.
That
right
was a
now.
different time, Jonesy. Different time. I was about 60 pounds heavier and had about 1.5 feet longer hair. Somehow my wife married me with that thing put back in a ponytail. How about that?
Working for you. 3.5 minutes to go. Those guys up front have done a nice job here for Syracuse. That's the battle they thought they could win, and still winning. Touchdown, Orange. Strickland.
That kind of puts the exclamation point on what it's been today for this Syracuse football team. They told us, Dino Babers told us, as well as his offensive coordinator Mike Lynch, his defensive coordinator Brian Ward, to a man they all felt that the offensive and defensive line was the strength of this football team. We've seen the defensive line really come to play today, and whether it be stopping the run, getting sacks, it's come true. And here in the second half, they protected well, and they've really done a better job in the running game. The physicality up front for Syracuse has been on full display.
Yeah, Conway, Roberts, Service, Adams, and the guy who lives in Coach's basement, Coda Martin, who has his dad on staff as quarterback coach. Been that type of good day for Syracuse.
And Ikeem Johnson said it this week. We're definitely looking to run up the score and annihilate them as they tack on another touchdown with about 3 minutes left to play. And I'm not going to say it is or what it isn't, but what these numbers tell me, a thorough annihilation, Jonesy.
Yeah, they have beaten them soundly and firmly.
In every phase.
Yep.
In every phase.
Syracuse has run the ball for 204 yards on the ground. Strickland picking up 13 on that touchdown gallop. And just 3:19 away from the first 3-0 start here at Syracuse for Dino Babers.
You know, this will be the first ACC win for Syracuse since they knocked off Clemson a year ago right here in this dome.
Perhaps the highlight of the season as we go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. Updating you on what happened with Nebraska. Down 24-19 in Troy, and late interception. Andrew Bunch wills Sunderland, and so Scott Frost, who went 24-2 at Nebraska as a quarterback, 0-2 as a head coach, and the Cornhuskers' first 0-2 start since 1957. Justice Hill and Oklahoma State. He's been tremendous for the Cowboys. We'll head you up to Stillwater 5 or so minutes from now. Jonesy.
All right, 30-7, 3:19 to go. Florida State late getting men on the field. Terry jogs on at the last moment, and Francois is going to look to the sidelines and plead for a timeout. Now let's take a look at today's hardest working player, brought to you by Duluth. A lot of candidates. But it's going to be DeVito, who came on in relief of Eric Dungy late in the second quarter. Dropped a dime in there. A couple of runs, and boy, he really showed a lot of poise coming in under some unfortunate circumstances, Dusty.
In a backup role where, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you to that coaching staff how important they made it known to us Eric Dungy was to this offense. I don't want to say they said if he's not out there, we can't function, but it kind of felt that way. Yeah. And to see Tommy DeVito step in, precise in the passing game, gave good touch, made good decisions. Outstanding job by the redshirt freshman.
Francois completes it to Terry. I want to go back to the studio highlight we saw a moment ago. Scott Frost struggling here in the early going at Nebraska, much like Willie Taggart appears to be. And I don't think you can overstate how tough it can be coming in as a new head coach and taking over when you don't have the pieces and guys that you want or need to run your system. That pass incomplete. It's like Bill Parcells said back in the day, if you're going to make me cook the meal, at least let me buy the ingredients.
You buy the groceries.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to go to the grocery store. Well, that's right. And, you know, I think as Willie Taggart's able to get his players in here and he's able to get the pieces that fit his system, things will get better. I just think first and foremost, the offensive line, it's got to be addressed. They've got to figure out a way to navigate through this season and put that offensive line in situations to have success, because through 3 games, they've been thoroughly manhandling in every contest.
That's Cam Akers on the run, picks up about a yard.
You guys, one of my favorite facts about Dino Babers, Syracuse's head coach, is that he refuses to use a physical playbook, because when he was at Arizona in the late 90s, a disgruntled player uploaded the entire book to the internet and the offense there plummeted. I asked him about it. He immediately ran to the next room and brought this to show us he definitely hasn't let it go yet.
Well, that's pretty amazing when you think about, well, and it makes sense too, Dusty and Molly, trying to protect the corporate knowledge that you have amassed over the years. If you don't have an actual playbook that you hand to the player and say, here, study that, how does he do it then, right?
Well, it makes it more difficult. You know, what he said they try to do now is visual learning, right? They try to show it to him on the film and then go out on the field and implement those principles. Now, players still have notebooks. They're making notes. You know, they're still keeping up with what's going on. But as far as an actual physical playbook, Dino Babers was burned one time, and he said, I will not be burned again. So it's interesting. I've never heard of a coach, you know, not having a playbook, but once you've been burned, I can understand where he's coming from. And if, you know, with technology now, if we see more and more playbooks being put out there, wouldn't surprise me if we see more people adhere to what Dino Babers is doing at Syracuse.
Did you have a physical playbook when you played at Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, Chicago Bears, you name it, there was always an actual physical playbook. I guess maybe my teammates are a little more trustworthy than some of Dino's players back in the day, because nobody ever outed them or, you know, put that on display.
Well, the last time that Syracuse won an ACC game was last season. Friday the 13th, they shocked the college football world with this win against Clemson. Dungy hit Dontae Strickland 23 yards to take a 7-0 lead early, and you could tell something special was happening. 52-yard run by Travis Etienne would tie the game at 24 in the third quarter. But then a 30-yard kick from Cole Murphy would seal the victory for Syracuse. And Bedlam broke loose inside the dome. They win it 27-24. Well, now they can put that one in the rearview mirror for good. because this is now another ACC win and perhaps a chance to, you know, they're not going to go 4-8 this year.
No. Well, they got UConn next week. I expect them to win that. They're going to get to a 4-0 start. And as you start to look down the ACC, I think 7 wins is very attainable this year. What would be a big year number 3 for Dino Babers. But when you think about it, 16, they were able to beat Virginia Tech in this building, who was really good that year. They beat a really good Clemson team in here last year. And I know Florida State's a little bit down this year, not what they've been in the recent past, but this is still Florida State. They got some great athletes on this field, and for them to knock off those 3 programs in the ACC in Babers' first 3 years, that really gives validation to what he's doing, and for his players to really continue to buy in on the message he's selling.
Under 2 minutes to go. Incomplete for Akers. Take a look at Syracuse's upcoming schedule. I mentioned UConn after Florida State. And tough one at Clemson and at Pitt.
North Carolina, very winnable game here in the Dome. NC State's going to be really tough. I mean, nothing's a gimme in the ACC, but Syracuse is a good football team, much improved on both sides of the ball. I think one question we leave here with is, what's the status of Eric Dungey moving forward?
Yeah, that's a big one. Francois still in. Incomplete for Terry. I go back to one of the items we talked about at the top of the show. A couple of African-American coaches on the respective sidelines in this game. Good afternoon for one, not so much for Willie Taggart. But in summary, it seems to be that college football is at least efforting to move in the right direction and hiring qualified African-American coaches like these 2 gentlemen on the field here today. And Babers telling us yesterday that he wants to do well enough so that he can maybe inspire another young African-American coach who dreams of being a college football head coach and do well.
What a great guy Dino Babers is.
Great energy yesterday.
I mean, just positive energy. Talking with the offensive coordinator, Mike Lynch. Asked him, you know, what's it like? We walk out of a meeting with Babers into a meeting with offensive coordinator Mike Lynch. Tough physical run.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, I said, what's it like to coach with him? He said, man, he started smiling. He said, it's fun. The atmosphere is always upbeat. He's full of life. He's so much fun. And he even commented on his family. He's the exact same way. I mean, he's just the type of guy you want to be around. And to me, Jonesy, that's infectious. And that's a trickle down that's permeating all throughout this program.
Yeah, Mike Lynch talked about Dino Babers' wonderful daughters, thoughtful daughters, helpful daughters, you know, babysitting, taking care of some of the kids on the coaching staff. We approach 1 minute to go. Three-yard run by Mackenzie Pierre.
Also can't lose sight of the fact this is a very senior latent team, right? And the senior leadership on this team has been outstanding, Dino Babers told us. Not a guy on this team has seen a winning season at Syracuse, and they want to change that. The senior class wanted to be the start of that change, and they've really handled their business to start this 2018 campaign.
Hey, to start the day, it was a rough day. Yours truly had his bag fall out of the car, unbeknownst to us on the drive to the stadium. Lost my bag with all my ID, my wallet, my money, my charts for the game, most importantly, and a shout out to my man, Tarif, who found my bag in the middle of the street here in Syracuse, took it to the authorities, and gave it to me 45 minutes before kick. A big assist and a big win for Dino Babers today. Their first win against Florida State since 1966. There'll be better days for Willie Taggart. But DeVito coming on in relief of Dungey to get it done. Stay tuned for Boise State and Oklahoma State next on ESPN. For Molly McGrath, Dusty Dvorak, and our crew, I'm Mark Jones. Right now we're going to sell you to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Broncos and the Cowboys.